breast, burgers, jumbo franks, and many more favorites. And don't forget to save room for dessert. Most gift packages come with 4 delicious caramel apple tartlets. So just go to omahasteaks.com, use code ZIOLI at checkout, and get $30 off an unforgettable gift that is guaranteed to make Dad's day. Because if there's one thing we know, it's that dads want steak. omahasteaks.com, promo code ZIOLI at checkout. Minimum order is required. See site for details.
Inflation is nothing more than legalized theft, because with every new round of money printing, the value of your 401k or IRA is decreased through the dilution of the money supply. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and while you can, I highly recommend you consider physical gold for your retirement account. Why? Because gold provides real wealth preservation that can withstand anything. Even better, with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group, you pay no penalties or taxes when you transfer your current retirement funds. To learn more, text the word HEDGE to 989898. And my friends at Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold IRA company I trust, so text HEDGE to 989898 to request your free info kit right now.
What's up, Philly? Jalen Hurts here for Window Nation, the best team for window replacements. With well over 1 million windows expertly installed, you can trust Window Nation for quality and professional service. Let their team score big savings for you.
Now at Window Nation, buy 2 windows, get 2 free, plus no interest payments for 60 months, 5 full years.
This incredible offer couldn't come at a better time. Make the call and tell them Jalen sent you. Then drop back and enjoy the buy 2, get 2 savings. Call 866-90-NATION or windownation.com.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. Free speech lives here. It's Kayal Company on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Unlike Twitter Spaces, away we go. Live on this Thursday, May 25th. It is indeed Kayal Company, right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. We are always live on the free Odyssey app and streaming live for your video viewing pleasure on YouTube. As we head until 10 o'clock this morning, 855-839-1210, the phone number, Twitter and Instagram, at 1210 WPHT. I am at Nick Kayal, Kayal. Dawn Stensland with the news. Greg Stocker is the chairman of the board. Daniel Valdez, Anthony Dorenzo, our associate producers. And it's official, folks. We will never, as a show, offer you the streaming option via Twitter Spaces. Because we don't want to have an epic crash and burn. My goodness, what a night. Dawn Stensland, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great.
Gregory?
I'm doing much better than the people at Twitter Spaces.
Good Lord.
Although the DeSantis camp spinning it as he's so popular, people want to hear what he says so much that he crashed the Twitter services.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
He crashed. I'm just saying the way they're spinning it.
Yep.
So you could look at it either way.
They had Elon Musk, I forget when it was, but he was doing a Twitter Spaces where he had 3 million people listening. Not a hiccup. 478,000 show up for Ron, and something went terribly wrong.
Yeah.
Whoa, what a night. We have a lot to get to.
David Sachs, who is the moderator of it last night, was on with Laura Ingraham last night. I have the sound, and I'll play it later. But he basically said that they look at this as a huge win.
Sure. You can always look at a lot of things in this lifetime with a glass half full perspective.
Yeah.
Or a glass half empty perspective. Here in Talk Radio, we usually choose the half empty perspective.
That's not true.
Well, Dawn's
Speak for
always
yourself.
Positive. Yes, Dawn believes the Phillies will win the next 72 games this season.
Well, we won last night. We're only as good as our last game, so there.
There we go. Something to build on. We got good weather.
We're turning things around.
That's right. All right, so much to get to.
Did they win the
morning.
series? That's what's important.
Blah, 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 blah.
We have so much with DeSantis, Elon Musk.
Did you guys listen to the whole thing? It was pretty.
No.
It was pretty interesting once it got going.
I was gone after that. After the hiccup, I was out. I waited 17 minutes, and I did not get quality.
See, I mowed the lawn and made dinner.
Look
So
at
it
you.
gave me some extra time. I
Yeah.
appreciated the 17
I
minutes.
mowed the lawn and made dinner.
Just a little piece of the front
Oh
lawn.
my God!
While Elon and Ron are fiddling
So I
around.
was like, are these
hitting
men,
buttons.
can they get the Twitter going yet? I'm going to mow the lawn. Ran back in. Nope.
Hey, Larry, if Ron comes on, open up the back door and yell
Somebody
for me.
holler.
Just out of curiosity, what was your 18-year-old son doing while you were mowing the lawn? While his mother was mowing the lawn? Well, his mother, who works 12 hours a day, was mowing the lawn. Just asking for a friend.
Boys were doing their
Homework. Okay.
Dean's List.
Okay.
That's right.
All right. Yeah.
Scholars.
All right.
Yeah.
Scholars in the Stensland-Menti household. All right, so much to get to this morning. But before we delve into that and the big take, which will obviously be about Ron DeSantis and last night, we go to Dawn Stensland, 6:06 for round number one of the news.
And good morning. We are sponsored this cool, crisp Thursday morning, Thursday, May 25th, sponsored by Piazza Premium Automobiles. A lot happened just overnight, in less than 12 hours, actually, in the city of Philadelphia, and keeping Philadelphia police very busy. A young man shot and killed on a SEPTA bus. This happened, apparently some kind of an argument broke out on a SEPTA bus. This is in the Germantown section of Philadelphia last night, before 11 p.m., about 10:40-ish last night, 5200 block of Germantown Avenue. Here's the thing, for the middle-aged SEPTA driver, she ducks. She hears something, she ducks, and if you look at the bullet hole and where it went, it whizzed right over her head. Philadelphia police saying she is lucky to be alive. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
In the city of Philadelphia. This
Bullet duck!
Oh my gosh.
Timing in a game of inches, I guess.
Oh, goodness
Wow,
gracious.
that's terrible.
So she's okay, physically okay, but they have one victim who was shot and killed. As far as the gunman who was wearing one of those COVID masks, well, the gunman got away, ran off the bus. So Philadelphia police, obviously what they do in this case, they do have witnesses who were stuck on the bus with the situation, but the guy had a hoodie and a mask. So they're asking police, call 215-686-TIPS. They're also reviewing all surveillance type images and video in the vicinity, hoping at some point he takes the mask off and they can see who it is. Let's talk about a road rage situation. That's what they're calling it, University City. It appears to be a case of self-defense. This happened when Philadelphia police say a woman, she actually was approached by a guy with a crowbar who smashes in her window. This is 5:30 yesterday at 30th and Chestnut Streets. 22-year-old guy in a Chevy, 30th and Chestnut, gets into this road rage incident with a 27-year-old young woman, and she was driving her vehicle there. So ultimately, guy comes with a crowbar, smashes her window. She pulls out her legally licensed, legally owned firearm and shoots him in the groin in self-defense. And so she cooperated with the officers as far as that victim, the guy with the crowbar, he's in serious condition this morning, recovering. So that's happening in Philadelphia as well. We also have some good news here with a most wanted armed and dangerous suspect that we've been talking about for this week. And thanks to U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force, they say they have arrested 19-year-old Brian Amerman. They surrounded a home on East Rush Street. This is Kensington yesterday. So the arrest inside the home after a family member had alerted authorities to his whereabouts. He's the 19-year-old who we told you about, a person of interest who was accused of several shootings as well as robberies across Philadelphia in a crime spree that had victimized many people, left some of them critically injured in the hospital. And also, according to authorities, he has quite a long rap sheet. 19-year-old in custody and not getting out right now. So he had those active warrants issued for him, carjackings, attempted murder warrant, etc. So he's in custody. And yes, our top story that Nick's going to have a big take for you in just a moment as far as that Twitter live stream event with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, all the crashing, Elon Musk, and oh my goodness, all the media reaction and Trump reaction. Nick Kayal in just a second on that with the big take. Real quick here, I'll tell the Phils because we want to get to the big take, which is awesome. We've got our Phils. Trey Turner provides a turning point with a game-tying homer in the 9th.
Yeah.
They go into the 10th. They're very excited. The announcers, when they start doing this, it's a good thing in Philadelphia. So we won 6-5 against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Phil's head out of town now to begin a 4-game series against the Braves in Atlanta, but we won in the 10th.
I think
Awesome.
I'm going to head out of town for 4 games as well, I think. I'll see you guys on Tuesday.
So we are sponsored this morning by Piazza Premium Automobiles. Discover the luxury of the Mercedes-Benz lineup, including the midsize GLC SUV and the fully electric EQ models. Test drive today at Mercedes-Benz of Westchester, Wilmington, and now Atlantic City. Piazza Premium Automobiles, thank you for sponsoring our news this morning. And as far as our T-Mobile Weather Center forecast, chillier today and tomorrow. So we're only 72 degrees today, and quite breezy, and much of the same for your tomorrow, for your Friday, as this is one of today and tomorrow, the busiest travel days we've seen in quite some time. But as far as the weekend, it's looking awesome. So we're in the high 70s, 77 degrees for Saturday, 78 for your Sunday, with a lot of sunny skies. Monday, warmer in the low 80s, but some clouds start to move in. That's your T-Mobile Weather Center forecast. This is Kayal Company News Live.
All right, Dawn, thank you very much. Busy travel day indeed. You've probably got to assume at this point that Mayor Pete is saying a prayer at this moment that nothing happens to go wrong in the world of traveling if you're Mr. Pete Buttigieg, because when those big travel days come, Pete's he's a little uneasy. So best of luck with that. 6:11. It's today's a Thursday, right? I'm all disheveled. I'm like Ron and Elon on Twitter Spaces. Let's get to a big take.
The Big Take on Kayal Company.
All right, the big take this morning, Ron DeSantis using Twitter Spaces to enter a bigger space. Last night at 6 p.m. on Twitter Spaces, an audio-only feature, essentially Twitter radio, the Florida governor sat down with Elon Musk to officially launch his 2024 presidential bid. Now, first impressions, they matter. And for some, that was their first glimpse, or should I say the first time that they would hear the 44-year-old. You were not supposed to see him by design. You were, however, supposed to hear him. And that was an epic fail, at least at the start. Plenty of people experienced this as it started 7 minutes late. They said 6 p.m., and it started at 6:07 p.m. And then I, as well as many of you, were getting booted off of the Twitter app, followed by echoes and distorted sound. And many others dealt with the same crummy experience that I dealt with. Twitter Spaces, it absolutely stinks. This was a JV production. I would expect this from a mayoral race in Arkansas with a population of 1,300 people and a broadcast on public access television. This was like Elon's space shuttle blowing up again prematurely. And it looks like 478,000 people is too many for the smartest man on the planet to coordinate the speech of a presidential candidate, which is weird because, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, Elon Musk once had 3 million people on Twitter Spaces, and there was not a hiccup. Maybe Elon should have done a test run. Maybe Ron DeSantis is destined to stay in Florida and finish his second term. You just know that Donald Trump was laughing his butt off. Maybe Ron DeSantis not ready for prime time. We certainly know that, at least last night, Elon Musk was not. Conspiracy theory alert. Trump paid off Elon Musk to sabotage Ron DeSantis. No, I kid. Well, maybe. But once they corrected the tech issues, they got down to business. Here's DeSantis on the cultural wars and beating Biden's agenda. Listen.
We will never surrender to the woke mob, and we will leave woke ideology in the dustbin of history. Biden's also politicized the military and caused recruiting to plummet. We will eliminate ideological agendas from our military, focus the military on the core mission, and we will reverse the poor recruiting trends. Finally, Biden's weaponized the power of the administrative state to advance his left-wing agenda. We will reconstitutionalize the executive branch, and we'll bring the administrative state to heel. Now, you can't do any of that if you don't win. There is no substitute for victory. We must end the culture of losing that has infected the Republican Party in recent years.
And even there, at least in my opinion, that audio quality, not great. You would have been better off on 1210 WPHT on one of our HD channels. Here is Ron DeSantis on the latest racism claims by the NAACP.
That we have in Florida more black-owned businesses than any state in the nation. And we've also had more African Americans lead state agencies under my administration than at any time in Florida history. But with us, they're there because of merit, not because we're trying to play identity politics. And if you want to look at education, the black students in Florida perform much higher than black students in most other states. We rank number 3 in 4th grade reading and number 2 in 4th grade math amongst our black student population. And oh, by the way, the head of the NAACP lives in Florida, and a lot of their board members have put out on social media during my governorship Florida vacations where they seem to be having an awful good time.
For the last 6 or 8 weeks, if you listen to this show, you know I am really down on Ron DeSantis. Poll numbers are down. And last night, in my opinion, after the night before when we found out he would be on Twitter Spaces, and also his teaser political ad of 30 seconds that we played, they've been average at best. But the execution last night, the launching point, was a failure. But that was Twitter Spaces. The spotlight will only burn brighter come August, when he presumably will debate with Donald Trump and other Republican primary candidates. But the pressure, the attacks, the hit pieces, and the media scrutiny, as well as vicious claims from the left, have already begun. We've already seen and heard from so many people ramping up their anti-Republican rhetoric, now aimed squarely in the direction of Ron DeSantis. The NAACP has issued a travel warning for all black people to avoid the state of Florida, saying the state is, quote, hostile towards the African-American community. MSNBC and their esteemed panel of race-baiting nitwits have said that Florida is now a terroristic state. Both of those we covered for you on yesterday's show. But it doesn't stop there. Politico has joined the party, publishing a hit piece on Casey DeSantis, the wife of Ron, a lady who has beaten cancer and seems to be very classy, well-liked, a mother, a wife. But that didn't stop Michael Crussey of Politico from writing the following. She is, and always has been by far, his most important advisor, they say, because she is hesitant to cede that space to nearly anybody else. The DeSantis inner circle is too small and remains so, they say, not only because he constitutionally doesn't trust people, but because she doesn't either. Especially forthright are the people who are granted anonymity on account of their fear of retribution given their power. Not just his, but hers. Quote, she's the power behind the throne, a Republican lobbyist said. Quote, the tip of the spear, said a Republican consultant. Have you ever noticed, Roger Stone, the notorious political mischief maker, who is both a DeSantis antagonist and a many decade-long Trump loyalist, remarked in a Telegram post last fall, how much Ron DeSantis' wife, Casey, is like Lady Macbeth, an agent, in other words, of her husband's undoing. As reporters like Fox's Joseph Wolfson reminded you just last year in Politico and derided the return of the Lady Macbeth type during the 2022 midterms when it was used against First Lady Jill Biden, Hillary Clinton, and Giselle Fetterman. While the attacks on Joe Biden and John Fetterman's wives might have mostly been intended as attacks on the male candidates, the end result is a reinforcement of traditional gender roles that make many ambitious women suspect. If Giselle Fetterman or Jill Biden ever run for office, they can expect to see the same trope come back to target them, not their husbands. Just look at Hillary, Politico magazine senior editor Caitlin Fawcett wrote. So it's terrible when used on Democrat wives, but it's fair game with Republican wives. That's our liberal Democrat media. But that's just Politico going after DeSantis and especially his wife, Casey. It doesn't stop there. Now we get to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the always angry AOC, who rips Ron DeSantis for calling Daniel Penny a good Samaritan over Jordan Neely and the New York City chokehold killing. The New York Post says the following. DeSantis earlier this week praised Penny for, quote, doing the right thing, since passengers on the train said they felt threatened by Neely, 30, who was homeless and mentally ill. Quote, vets look out for other vets. What we can't have in our society is inmates running the asylum. That's a quote from Ron DeSantis. Didn't sit well with AOC with the Good Samaritan comment. AOC goes on to say, I think he should read a Bible. Next, in the world of DeSantis and all the pushback he's facing, is polling data. In the latest Rust Belt poll, Battleground polling shows that Trump leads the GOP primary with 67.5% of the votes, and DeSantis comes in a distant second at 17.1%. Translation, that is a 50-point advantage for Donald J. Trump. Trump also leads President Biden in the Rust Belt poll, showing that voters prefer Trump to Biden 47% to 38%. If DeSantis were to be the nominee, according to likely voters, Biden then would take the lead in that context. Rust Belt voters polled said they preferred Biden to DeSantis 38% to 34%. The Rust Belt makes up of Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. Next on the media blitz is Time magazine, as DeSantis will grace the cover of Time in early June, with the title being, quote, what Ron DeSantis' Florida agenda could mean for America. It goes over his entire career, his victories, his policies, and what DeSantis' camp calls the Florida blueprint. It also talks about his battles against Disney, his military background, his relationship with Trump, and much more. It's not a hit piece by any stretch, but it wouldn't be deemed as a puff piece either. And lastly, you have two of the biggest allies of DeSantis, Elon Musk, who gave DeSantis the stage last night, as choppy as it may have been from the beginning, and has said that he would endorse Ron DeSantis, as well as Rupert Murdoch, the Fox Corp boss. According to Vanity Fair, the conservative news mogul invited the Florida governor to his vineyard in Bel Air, California for dinner back in 2020 and assured him that Fox would support his run in 2024. Now, that could actually hurt him if Fox viewers who love Trump and have bailed since Tucker Carlson was fired end up finding this to be a major turnoff. But the bottom line is this. Ron DeSantis is going to be taking shots from every conceivable angle. You saw that last night. The media, the left, Trump, and even the likes of Haley, Scott, Pence, Christie, Ramaswamy, and other Republicans. But one bit of advice for putting fingers, make sure that come August, in a debate, if not sooner, you say that you would absolutely pardon President Trump if I become your choice in 2024. That could very well go a long way for DeSantis and what seemed to be his bright future. But nowadays, you can easily say it's not as bright as it once was because first impressions matter. And Ron DeSantis, along with Elon Musk, last night, they dropped the ball. They didn't just fumble the ball. They fumbled it, and the opposition picked it up, scooped it up, and took it to the end zone and scored a touchdown. That was Trump. That was even the Biden administration themselves taking shots and jokes on social media at Ron DeSantis' epic fail last night. And in a day and age of short attention spans and people always looking for something else to consume their time and their mind, if you weren't ready to go for the first 7, 8, 12, 15 minutes last night, you might not have lost everybody, but you certainly should have lost some. And I'm one of Ron DeSantis' biggest fans, and he lost me last night. And that's the big take.
The Big Take on Kayal Company.
All right, big take on this Thursday morning. Your thoughts, your reaction, 855-839-1210, the phone number, Twitter and Instagram at 1210WPHT. You can get us on YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. You can chime in the Kayal and Company comment community. Start up your own chat right there on YouTube. We'll get to your reaction, Dawn's reaction, Greg's reaction from last night, and we'll do it on the other side. Kayal Company, live here on a Thursday morning on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
It was the day we all feared. The stock market went down and then kept going.
2008, when the markets lost over 50% of their value. But that was over a decade ago. Today, it's not so painful. Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group calls that financial amnesia. When you forget the pain of losing half your savings, and more importantly, ignore the fact that it can happen again. A complimentary consultation from Retire Ready Financial Group can show you where you stand now before the next market pullback. You're much closer to retirement than you were in 2008. Don't let it happen again. Call Jim Cipriotti at 610-894-7415 for a complimentary consultation. That's 610-894-7415 or online at retirereadyfg.com. You can forget where you put your keys, your glasses, or even your car. Don't forget to protect your retirement.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, NPN number 2083768.
Jesse Waters Primetime, weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox News Channel.
This is going to be fun to watch.
Jesse is tackling the nation's top headlines, delivering critical insight.
The White House track record here isn't great. This is bigger than politics.
And never backing down on the issues that matter most.
The name of the game is always the same. Win big.
Don't miss Jesse Waters Primetime, weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox News Channel. America is watching.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
A man was shot in a road rage incident Wednesday afternoon after breaking the window of another driver's car. Frankfort High School is expected to remain closed next school year, and singer Tina Turner died Wednesday at age 83.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Hi, I'm Benjamin Hoffman, owner of Mainline Pro Painting. We specialize in painting homes and businesses in the Mainline suburbs and surrounding areas, delivering the highest quality of professionalism, attention to detail, and customer service. We also give back to our community. We recently partnered with Sherwin-Williams and the Travis Manion Foundation in painting the home of U.S. Marine veteran Chris Guarana, in honor of my father, U.S. Army veteran Lawrence Benjamin Noel. To bring your home to life, visit us at mainlinepropainting.com.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me, 40 days up to 40 pounds. Visit njdiet.com or call 855-5NJ-DIET. That's 855-5NJ-DIET. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
At SimpliSafe, we design award-winning security to protect every inch of your home. It's easy to set up yourself, and now there's an even easier option. Have an expert do it for you with SimpliSafe Pro Install. Always protecting, never a contract. 2 easy installation options. Backed by 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. Get 20% off any new system with interactive monitoring at simplisafe.com/radio. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Attention residents, be advised. The Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board has once again increased the price of wine and spirits. We are here to help. To avoid paying this increase, shop with Total Wine & More and save up to 40%. We will continue to offer the absolute lowest prices. Visit Total Wine & More, offering the lowest prices for over 30 years and counting. Drink responsibly, be 21.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, Costco members have a $2,500 incentive on the purchase or lease of an electric Volvo. There is a $1,000 incentive on all gas and hybrid 2023 models. Explore this safe and versatile 2023 XC90 and take advantage of special financing, a rate of under 5%. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo for a full list of extraordinary offers for both new and previously owned Cherry Hill Volvos. Visit us now. We have the inventory and we have competitive offers.
Rich Zioli this afternoon, 3 till 7. Kayal Company now on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
6:29 as we roll on. It's a Thursday morning. Kayal Company here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. The Peter McKeon Highlight Electric playlist. Day 4 of his week as he gave a lot of money to the Travis Manion Foundation during Radiothon 2 months ago. And he's got the music duties for one more day as we head into a Memorial Day weekend. If I'm Ron DeSantis after last night's Twitter Spaces and his appearance with Trey Gowdy on Fox News.
Oh, boy, yeah.
I'm starting my Memorial Day weekend last night around 9 o'clock. Big old cocktail.
Let me just say this. I know we're going to get into the DeSantis stuff, but the Trey Gowdy in Tucker's spot on Fox News, what a slap in the face and an insult to Tucker's audience.
Yeah.
To have an establishment stooge in there.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it's such a bad... does anybody at Fox
You're
News...
calling Trey Gowdy an establishment stooge?
I am. Yes,
really?
I am.
We talk about guys that are hard to listen to.
Yeah.
Like Elon's difficult to listen to. DeSantis, you've mentioned, the way he kind of speaks and his speech patterns. Trey Gowdy's difficult to look at. He's difficult to listen to. And if I'm Ron DeSantis, I'm just thinking, wait a minute. I just got done with this, and okay, I get it. You fired Tucker Carlson. Why are you going like Hannity? Trey Gowdy gets that interview?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're trying to beef up 8 o'clock, right? You know what I mean? But Trey Gowdy ain't gonna do that.
I'm not sure Trey Gowdy does that.
I think Trey Gowdy, first of all, he's a very smart guy.
Yeah, legal guy.
He's a longtime congressman, well known, and prosecutor. And my husband has the best line about him that you could see him in a scene from Deliverance. He's the guy under the overpass with a banjo, ding ding ding. Like he has that look about him. Like so every time I see him, I think of that with him with a banjo. But no, I mean I don't know. I think conservatives like and respect Trey Gowdy.
Yeah, I have nothing against him. I just not sure that that's the guy that should be doing because this was.
I'm just saying in Tucker's spot,
right?
Hannity's spot,
but everybody's been in Tucker. Yeah,
Hannity's more of an establishment guy. Tucker wasn't.
Hannity is a Trump guy.
That's a good point.
So DeSantis is never. Hannity's not going to do that to Trump.
That's true.
There's no way, and nowhere is. I know Laura Ingraham was on the group Twitter radio thing last night, whatever you want, but no, Hannity's not going there.
Yeah,
and Laura Ingraham didn't get a question in.
Yeah,
Dana Lash did.
Oh,
yeah, she did.
Okay.
The two things I'll say. One is I disagree with you that it goes on DeSantis at all. And if you look at Elon, as far as the technical problems off the top, so off the top, it's bad for us who are professional broadcasters. But think about Elon Musk. What was his last big rocket? And the rest of us looked and went, "Oh, the rocket! It went up there and it blew up."
Yeah, fizzled out.
And blew up.
Yeah.
And Elon said we've never had liftoff with that large of a rocket before. That's what he was looking for. We accomplished our goal. That's Elon Musk.
Right.
As long as you have liftoff, that's how wonky he is. He's a quirky guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it reflected at all on Ron DeSantis. That's like if DeSantis went on Fox News and they had technical problems, nobody's going to blame him. But the interesting piece of this is toward the end into it, they got into this whole thing about the central banking system and Doja and Bitcoin and crypto. And I didn't even realize there was on Twitter a whole crypto Twitter thing that there's a huge audience for that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, "Oh, this is what DeSantis. This is the little niche that he wants.
Mm-hmm.
He wants these folks.
Okay.
He wants to activate them to say vote for me." The other thing I'll say is, and I remember Robert Reich. He was a short man. He was U.S. Secretary of Labor, and he does a lot on the public speaking tour.
Mm-hmm.
You'd know him if you.
I see him on Twitter.
So, and he does Berkeley, and he's a public policy professor at Berkeley. So he wrote this whole thing about labor and how this is all about Elon Musk. That Elon Musk, because remember, he moved to Texas. Reich claims he's an anti-union guy. This is about union jobs. And I will say, every time when Governor DeSantis talks about how fast they built the bridges in Florida, which they did, the truth is, I always say, well, it's a right to work state.
Mm-hmm.
So the issue, I think, moving forward, as far as DeSantis, that Trump will get him, is that Trump got the union vote. I don't know that DeSantis can.
It's a great point. Yes. Speaking of Trump, he says on Truth last night, Rob, and he's referring to Ron because they like to call him Rob DeSantis. He says, Rob, my red button is bigger, better, stronger, and is working. And he puts truth in parentheses. Yours does not. Per my conversation with Kim Jong-un of North Korea, soon to become my friend. Here's where I think DeSantis has to take some of the blame. Yes, he's not responsible directly for the technical issues of Twitter Spaces last night. That's an Elon Musk thing. That's an Elon Musk and Twitter technical engineering staff department thing. But Ron DeSantis chose to go to Twitter Spaces. So it's Elon's fault more than Ron's. But I think DeSantis has to take some of this blame because if you wanted to do, and remember, Trump was ripping him, saying how out of touch DeSantis is. Twitter Spaces, are you kidding me? You're clearly, you have no idea what you're doing. You're not ready to run. And he goes to Twitter Spaces, and like I'm supposed to be like this DeSantis guy, right? And this is my job. I should stick with. I was gone. I literally, and I checked back in at 6:37, and there was 170,000 people that were streaming Twitter Spaces. When I was on and getting booted out and dealing with all this stuff around 6:09, 6:10, there was 478,000. Now, the DeSantis camp claims that they got up to almost 800,000. I did not see that, but when I checked back in and saw 70% of the people that were no longer there, I was like, okay, I'm not alone here. Like, you have a small window to capture me, and you didn't. That's the way I view it. Like, why not just go to Fox News? Rupert Murdoch is apparently your guy. Rupert Murdoch brought you out to his vineyard in 2020. If I'm DeSantis, I'm like, dude, I want to blow it out. I want the entire 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock hour on your network. You like me? You want to endorse me? You want to make me your guy in the post-Trump era in Rupert Murdoch land? Also with the New York Post? Then let's do it. Twitter Spaces.
Yeah, that
JV operation.
We said that here yesterday, and actually, I got to give Alyssa Farah Griffin credit because we played that clip at the end of the show yesterday where she said it could be either be, we laughed at her for straddling the fence. She's like, it could either be a disaster or it could be brilliant. And the disaster part, I wasn't really expecting like that, but it was. Just for people who didn't hear it, this is kind of what it sounded like if you were listening in real time yesterday.
Tonight, I'm pleased to introduce two individuals who've done more to loosen the grip.
See, right now, I'm like, honey, I'm gonna go out and mow the lawn.
Good for you.
Sorry about that. We've got so many people here that I think we are kind of melting the servers, which is a good sign.
Let's see. So, here we go. Yeah, I think so.
Dude, Elon's painful when he has a good connection.
Yeah.
DeSantis is not the most charismatic speaker. The other guy that was in there as well. And then I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, wait a minute. You're trying to spin this, and I get it. That's what politicians do. They're spin masters, right? You can try to spin this and say, wow, man, look how popular we are. We crashed the server. Except, as I mentioned twice already, they've had 3 million people on Twitter Spaces for another Elon Musk Twitter Spaces session. So from a size standpoint, this was less than 25% of the 3 million, and they had issues. I think, Greg, you mentioned this in our group chat last night. Maybe Elon shouldn't have trimmed off all the fat that he trimmed off from Twitter.
I just think of all of those tech guys, those engineers, those IT guys that he let go, in the infamous kitchen sink thing that he was doing, them all just sitting back and laughing, being like, yep, look, you try and do all of this with half the staff, and this is what you get.
This would be like you getting rid of all the engineers for Odyssey, and then we do a remote down at the shore and we have tech issues, and you look like the idiot that get rid of all the engineers.
Yes.
Right?
Because everybody looks at me, they're like, what are you doing? It's like, well, we got rid of half the staff, so this is what's going to happen.
It's just terrible.
Yeah.
And it gets worse then. And now, I know Joe didn't do this, right? But somebody in his camp did. The Biden administration, under the Joe Biden presidential Twitter feed, put out a tweet saying, this link works, and it's a link to vote for
goodness.
and donate to Kamala and Joe.
When Biden trolls you,
Yeah, like when
it's
the
bad.
Biden administration is ripping you for incompetence and ineptitude, like I mean, you just took the L for the night.
Two things. I don't think. I said this yesterday that I think Twitter Spaces is such a niche thing that the majority of people did not. We're not sitting there like you, Nick Hale, at 6 p.m. and you, Dawn,
Exactly.
at 6 p.m., sitting there hearing that. That being said, they're going to just hear the reaction the next day from people, and this is what everybody's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to come off, the average everyday person is going to come off with, I heard it was a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to see those clips, and they're going to hear us talking about it, and that's the impression they're going to get. To Dawn's point, I'm sure if you went back and listened to the whole thing, I'm sure it, for the people that he was trying to I'm sure he did a great job, but most people didn't hear that.
I actually got a lot of, hey, it's up and running now. He sounds good. I kind of like this. It feels like a raw, natural radio show that's going on back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I got some of the Trump supporters that were, but by and large, and I'm thinking, wait a minute. So I'm the DeSantis guy, right? And I'm disgusted with the whole thing. I think it's a win for Biden. I think it's a win for Trump, the whole thing.
It wasn't a win for Biden.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay. So I'm sitting there and I'm just like turned off by the whole production. And most people, I'm thinking, are going to say the same thing. And I was wrong. Most people were like, well, yeah, after 17, 18, 20 minutes, I came back and this is actually pretty good. And he's doing a pretty decent job, which.
Maybe they were mowing the lawn too. It was dinner time.
Yes, that's a good point. Then you have Team DeSantis' Twitter feed saying, quote, "It seems we broke the internet with so much excitement. While you're waiting, donate now." And they include a link. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. I can't hear your boy right now because of technical issues. I don't know that this is the right time to be saying, hey, open up your wallets for us while we figure out these technical issues.
Well, they did raise about $1 million.
I know, people are just
off of that. But if you look back at what Trump raised, it's not anywhere close.
No.
But they did raise $1 million off of what they did last night.
Yeah. Well, there's really nothing he can do that will get to the level of Trump. Like last night I tweeted, Trump came down the golden escalator. DeSantis fell from space and crashed back into orbit. I mean, you talk about one guy like Trump. Everything Trump does has this big feel. It comes off like it was planned and they prepared for it. Golden escalator. I mean, there's a certain gravitas to Trump. There's this, hey, we do things my way. We do it the right way in his vision. And everything we do is big. DeSantis came off looking like a governor last night. Trump came off looking like, been there, done that. I'm the guy for the job. Ron's not ready. And that's largely the main message here. DeSantis is not ready. Ron, it's not your time. It's Trump's one last swing at it. And oh, by the way, he's proven he could already do it before. So, look, I mean, it's May 2023. We've got primary debates coming up in August. We've got over a year, basically a year and a half. Will people forget about this? Perhaps. But if I'm Trump and I'm other Republican candidates, I'm not letting DeSantis forget about this. I really do believe that first impressions matter. Like, if Greg Stocker was interviewing me for a job and said, hey, I got your resume, I got your email, why don't we do a Zoom? We'll jump on a Zoom. And I jump on the Zoom to meet Greg Stocker for the first time, see his face, hear his voice, and my internet craps out. You think that's a good look for me? Whether it's my fault or not, whether it really should matter?
Do you really think this was the first impression? I mean, DeSantis is in the news like every day and in Florida. I don't know. I don't think it's a first impression. I don't. And I just don't. I think people know who DeSantis is, and I think people don't necessarily blame him for a Twitter platform crash.
Okay.
I don't. I disagree. To me, I think that what I do think is that is absolutely right is that Trump has gravitas, and this, if you walked into a room and you heard all these guys, and as a woman, I will say, mostly guys were speaking. Dana Lash stuck out to me, but it was mostly guys. I would have thought, oh, somebody's listening to one of these specific niche podcasts of guys talking about Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So it wasn't, if we want to talk about inclusivity, and you think about how, for example, Trump attracts women. He attracts certain women, obviously, and there's a back and forth on the women's vote, but he is more inclusive, honestly, when he talks about the economy, women's jobs, but especially black and brown Americans.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a real topic. And so to me, also the union vote is in play here. And I think we'll see Trump talking about that more and more, and that'll be interesting. But this Bitcoin crypto, like I'm looking at all these headlights.
Yeah.
Even making headlines, making international headlines. And that's just it. We have to remember it's not just an American phenomenon. This is around the world. I thought that was interesting. So I think what is Elon getting out of this?
Mm-hmm.
Why did he want to do this with DeSantis? Does he want to have an in with whoever's president because he doesn't want a central bank? He wants Bitcoin. You know, what does he get out of this?
Right. Yeah, I think it goes beyond just, hey, Trump is on truth, so let's get DeSantis on Twitter. I think that's kind of like the entry level thought. But the next level, which is what you got to assume that Elon Musk always goes second, third, fourth level thinking, I think you're spot on with that. Just to clarify, as far as the turnoff to DeSantis or not being able to see him or hear him for the first time and people know who he is. Obviously, we know who DeSantis is. Our audience knows who DeSantis is. I should have explained it better, but for the casual political observer, the guy that spends 2 or 3 days a week, 5 to 10 minutes a day consuming some news, maybe he heard it at the water cooler, maybe he's got a Twitter account that he uses once a month, and somebody said, yeah, Ron DeSantis and Elon Musk are going to be on this Twitter Spaces tonight. And he was like, okay, I've been hearing about this guy in Florida. I can vaguely tell you who he is. Then you jump onto that, and you're like, somewhat intrigued by this whole presentation last night, and they fumble the ball. I just, in a day and age where people have no attention span and a lot to do, I just wonder how many people truly stuck around that were just a casual observer. Because in the Twitter Spaces, you can see, and I think you mentioned this, you can see who's in there listening and observing. You can see all the people that you follow that are in there. So I'm sitting there, I saw, the Greg Prices of the world, the Dana Lush, all the political people. And I just don't know. My doubt is that the casual fringe political observer who gets 10 minutes to digest news because they've got a life, they've got kids, they've got commitments. They tuned into it last night. They heard static. They heard Elon talking over another guy, and then it booted him out. I actually thought my phone was crapping out. I thought maybe I had bad cell phone service in my apartment, or my Twitter app was acting up because it kept closing on me. I was legitimately about to do it the old-fashioned way and pull up my laptop and just go to twitter.com and see if I could listen to it that way. So I just don't think it was a good night for him.
Once they got into it, I thought when he was talking about, the southern border, although some of these things I think Trump has handled well. So then I thought, how do you differentiate yourself from Trump? And he did say he would fire the FBI Director Christopher Wray, who was a Trump appointee.
Yep.
He talked about energy policies. He talked a lot about the southern border and saying that he would declare an emergency, but I think Trump would do the same. So to me, I'm like, I think all the Republican candidates will probably handle that. Well, heck, we could handle it better than the current administration.
Yep.
But to me, it was fascinating what they chose to talk about. They spent a lot of time talking about the central bank, money, what Democrats want to do, the DEI, ESG, all of that. And I think that bodes well. I think that DeSantis is trying to carve out maybe that niche of people who will follow libertarian or people who want crypto, Bitcoin.
He's got to differentiate himself.
He does, and I don't know what that is because Trump kind of owns most of those issues.
Yeah, it's a good observation. Yep, I totally agree. 855-839-1210. Quick break. We'll come back, wrap up the 6 o'clock hour with a couple of polling numbers on DeSantis and Trump, and we'll do so after this.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Are you tired of paying too much? Rescue Natural Supplements are rolling back prices to 2013 on top of Memorial savings all month long. That's right. For the entire month of May, you can buy 2 products, get 1 free, or buy 3 products and get 2 free on every single Rescue supplement. Combine decade-old rolled back prices with free bottles for huge savings. Stock up on all your favorites. 1250 Omegas, cholesterol supporters, probiotic, and brand new health gummies are all on sale. To order, call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a Rescue product consultant or shop online, res-q.com, res-q.com. Don't miss out on this opportunity to save big. Rescue is over 50 products to target your health goals, and everything is on sale. Rolled back prices and memorial deals start now and last through the end of the month. So go shop res-q.com today. That's res-q.com.
Hey, it's Rich. Is it only the hot summer and big electric bills that go with it are just around the corner? So this is your reminder that USA Installation's free labor offer ends on May 31st. You pay for the foam and they'll install it for free. USA has insulated over 100,000 homes. And if you're one of those previous customers, they have something special for you right now. USA wants to help your friends and neighbors get the same comfort and savings you have been enjoying. They love referrals and are going to reward you for helping them get the word out. For every new whole home installation customer that is referred by you, they will give you $500 as a thank you. 3 of your friends buy, that's $1,500. Just for telling your friends how they can save money on energy bills and keep their home more comfortable. And tell them now so they can take advantage of the free labor. If you're a new customer, referrals could pay for half of your installation. That all ends May 31st. So call them at 1-800-USA-FOAM, 1-800-USA-FOAM, or usainstallation.net.
USA Insulation.
Businesses to watch. What is the Armin Chevrolet difference? It's simple. It's our people. You can click and get a price online from anyone. What you can't get from every dealer is the Armin team of quality, well-trained, friendly, and caring people. That's where Armin Chevrolet is different. Whether you want a new or pre-owned vehicle, need service or collision repairs, think Armin Chevrolet. Armin's difference is clearly our people. Find new roads to Armin Chevrolet. Visit ArminChevy.com. That's ArminChevy.com.
Big weekend ahead. Cool, crisp weather. Parks Casino and Sportsbook, the #1 casino in all of Pennsylvania. And as you well know by now, the only casino and sportsbook I ever recommend. And it's the only one it's my only one, right? You get action, excitement, entertainment, experience, exceptional outdoor dining, and really unique indoor open-air seating at the spacious, beautiful Liberty Bell Beer Garden inside Parks Casino. It's the $80,000 Money Mania sweepstakes, only at Parks Casino and Sportsbook. You earn entries now through May 28th for a chance to win a share of $55,000 free slot play and for a chance to take home $25,000 in cash. Yeah, the $80,000 Money Mania sweepstakes going on right now exclusively at Parks. Hey, don't miss these top headliners coming soon to the Excite Center. Dionne Warwick, June 23rd. Sweet Caroline Tour, July 21st. Wallflowers, August 5th. Dave Koz and Friends, Summer Horns, August 11th. Wayne Newton, August 26th. For tickets and all the shows, visit parkscasino.com, PARX casino.com. Parks Casino and Sportsbook, this is how you win. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, Warminster, we know your favorite station is WPHT.
Tell your smart speaker to play 1210 WPHT.
Kayal Company as we continue live on a Thursday morning. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, the Odyssey app, streaming live on YouTube. Nick Kale, Dawn Stenzel, Greg Stocker, Anthony Dorenzo, Daniel Valdez. Big 7 o'clock hour coming up that will include what's on the cut sheet. We've also got some Philadelphia population numbers as they dwindle by the wayside. We'll give you that coming up. And also, Disney's reputation plummets as Disney is now viewed to be the 5th most divisive company in the country. So I'm going to get to that story as well. Dawn giving us some good news here. According to BBC, at one point, the Twitter Spaces on Twitter last night drew more than 600,000 listeners, but by its conclusion, there were fewer than 300,000. The interview that I mentioned with 3 million listeners for Twitter Spaces with Elon Musk about a month ago was the BBC interview. I didn't even remember what it exactly was, but yeah.
Well, don't you love the BBC put that out? That's why I said that because they're like, well, we had 3 million.
All
you know
good
what I mean?
with us.
So they had to get their little dig in.
They did, and I don't blame them. A lot of people reacting on Twitter, and I feel like this is probably going down the lines of who you prefer on the Republican side for 24. If you're a Trump guy or a DeSantis guy, MAGA man, so you know where we're going here. He says, I like DeSantis, but he is not ready. This is Trump's time. Win or deal as a VP, but he is not ready. I could not get into Twitter. They lost me 6 times last night. That was probably about the amount of times that I tried to get in and out for the first 10, 12 minutes before I checked out and gave up. East Coast Dreamer says, and this is probably a DeSantis backer, it went fine, a small glitch, and then it went smooth. People are blowing this out of proportion.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of those too. But, you know, when you were talking about first impressions, it's not that people don't know, but when you announce your run for president, that is like your new beginning. And it needs to – that's why most people do videos that are scripted, that are produced.
Which he did release.
He did. But this is your first real big announcement, your first interview. I'm putting that in quotations. And it was just not the right forum for this type of thing.
And it was long expected that he was officially going to make the move. So it was this build-up. You're waiting for just the official stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, we knew he was coming. And you're going up against perhaps the most popular Republican president of all time in Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Like, your margin for error against this behemoth is minuscule. And should this ultimately matter by the time we get to the fall of 24? Probably not. No. But, like, dude, it's your first shot, and you came away looking like you soiled yourself.
To your point, to put it in perspective, I would say when in journalism classes, when I taught for a couple years at LaSalle University, I would put up one of the most famous things that I can compare this to, that I would probably use this now, is back Nixon-Kennedy, that famous debate. And people do use that in communications or journalism classes. People who heard it on the radio said Nixon definitely won. People who watched it visually said Kennedy won, and he knew the right suit to wear and against the background and all that kind of thing. So I do wonder the impression with different audiences and different generations who liked this and it made some headway with them, who didn't.
Yeah.
But I would say this was historic. I mean, I even said to my sons, all kidding aside, I said, you guys, this is history. Nobody's ever done this before this way, in this medium.
There's a reason for that.
Oh, man, that sucked.
Yeah.
Well, you know, on second thought, Elon, maybe I should have just went to Fox. And Elon's probably like, yeah, my bad.
Yeah, I don't know if Fox would have been the right venue for him either.
You
I
think
understand.
CBS or like a mainstream would have taken him?
No, I go back to what we discussed yesterday. If he was going to go off platform, off, mainstream, I would have gone Joe Rogan or something like that to make, to have my first interview. Because to Don's point, this wasn't, he put out an ad campaign saying I'm running for president. This was his first quote unquote interview. So I would have. The problem with Rogan is that it's not a live show.
I was just going to ask you, do they do that live?
But
they could have.
They could have.
Okay.
Can you imagine the number Spotify would have gotten?
Oh my gosh!
If they would have.
And what if they crashed?
Well, yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. What did Elon Musk? Why? I'm as or more fascinated by Elon Musk and his strategy as to what he gets out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like he's going way out there as a major CEO and a billionaire, one of the wealthiest men in the world, who's taken over Twitter. And I'm fascinated with him and his motivation, because we all know he has an end game here.
Yeah.
He has a whole game plan. And so the fact that he doesn't want the union jobs, the fact that he wants a voice to live rent free, as Zioli always says, in the next president's head, whoever that is. And then at the end, did he not invite all the other candidates to come on? Because I believe that DeSantis said, "Oh, let's do this again." But I believe that the Twitter guys, one of them, Elon or the other dude, said, we hope to get other candidates.
It's interesting because I would expect all the Republicans to be available for this. Surprisingly, I think CNN, in the next week or so, they're going to be having a town hall with Nikki Haley. I think it's on Sunday, June 4th at 8 o'clock on CNN. So they've done Trump. Now they're going to do Nikki Haley Sunday night, 8 o'clock. But you got to wonder from a CNN standpoint, is DeSantis in the pipeline? Is Tim Scott on down the list? Because they gave Trump the platform, so they got to give everybody else the platform now. So
and Vivek, well, he was on with Don Lemon.
Well, Vivek will go on with anybody.
Yeah.
Vivek will come on with us in like 8 minutes.
Well,
if we
he
call
is.
him.
He's going to be here June 19th. I think he's going to be in person on a lot of the. I think he's here in the afternoon, like on Dom and Rich's shows.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right, there you go. 855-839-1210, the phone number. Dawn will have some news as we kick off the 7 o'clock hour. And then also, one of our favorite panel members on The View decided to go in on Elon Musk and Ron DeSantis yesterday and got fact-checked in her earpiece live on TV yesterday.
That's great.
This was great. She might have a little more credibility after last night's debacle, but this was still glorious nonetheless. You'll hear that when we come back. It's Kayal Company, live on a Thursday, Talk Radio 1210.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. Isn't it finally time to invest in yourself? Well, start at PI Dental Center. With the latest in digital technology to state-of-the-art treatment, PI Dental Center is a full-service practice. 2 board-certified specialists, Dr. Glenn Wolfinger and Dr. Robert Slough, are originators of the Teeth in a Day protocol, a revolutionary treatment that delivers fixed teeth on the same day as the implants are placed. Hey, I've been a patient of PI Dental for over 20 years, and now is the time for you to invest in yourself. Visit PIDentalCenter.com to request your new patient evaluation.
With a lump in your throat and a pounding chest, you utter, "Will you marry me?" With over a century of combined experience, Cozy Jewelers artisans will prepare you for the moment with a custom engagement ring. One-of-a-kind, Cozy custom designed jewelry as unique as the two of you. Don't just pick out a ring, create an heirloom. Before you take a knee, remember the 5 C's of diamonds: cut, color, clarity, carat, and cozy. Visit COZZIJewelers.com.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hi everyone, this is Stephanie Kelly from Emmons Roofing and Siding, and I have some exciting news to share. Emmons has partnered with SunPower, the top-rated home solar company in New Jersey. SunPower has been leading the solar industry for over 37 years and is the only U.S. solar company that's lasted longer than their 25-year warranty. Kill the bill, the energy bill that is. Imagine no more high energy bills, while all the while helping reduce your carbon footprint at no cost to you. It's a win-win. Yes, we now offer solar, but remember, if you need a new roof, siding, doors, windows, or interior remodeling, don't wait. Right now, Emmons is offering all 1210 listeners 10% off roofing, siding, and Anderson windows, and we are continuing to offer 12 months same-as cash financing, and don't forget that lifetime warranty on your roof. Give us a call today for a free estimate at 856-885-6677, emmonsroofing.com. Roofing, siding, windows, doors, kitchens, baths, and solar. Trust Emmons to be your first and last stop for all your home improvement needs. emmonsroofing.com.
Comedian Joe Conklin. Joel as Mr. Softy.
A creamier, streamier, soft ice cream. It comes from Mr. Softy. Melts in a biggest spot like me. They call me Mr. Softy. Almost run out of breath. Ice cream makes me tired.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra, July 15th in Ocean City, New Jersey, and July 22nd in North Wildwood. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
Hi, this is Howard Eskin, and Tasty Cake believes it's what's on the inside that counts. But a sweet new wardrobe doesn't hurt. Your favorite Tasty Cake treats like butterscotch crimpets, candy cakes, pecan swirls, and more are now in new packaging. That's right, new look, same tasty treats. So start your summer off right and grab yourself a Tasty Cake treat today, because the only thing better than what's on the outside is what's on the inside. Tasty Cake, except no substitutes.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hi, it's Rich Zioli. Do you have water on your property, soggy yard, sinking hardscape, pool liner floating? Garden State Earthworks is your drainage solution. 856-848-4444 or gardenstateearthworks.com.
Did you miss What's on the Cut Sheet? Or any part of Kayal Company? Just head to 1210 WPHT on the Odyssey app and tap earlier today.
.705 Kayal Company, hour 2 on a Thursday morning. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, the Odyssey app, streaming live on YouTube. For all of you that like to view the show, and we appreciate that, do what Stalker says. Subscribe, hit the like button, and let's get to, what are you thinking, 3,500? 4,000?
Yeah, I want to get to 4,000 by Memorial Day. So if you're listening right now, if you're watching right now, please hit the like button. But if you're listening, go to youtube.com/@1210WPHT and hit the subscribe button because I want to get to 4,000 subscribers by Memorial Day, which is it's like 5 days away, something like that.
Yeah, I've heard. What's on the cut sheet coming up 7:45? Michael Opelka wants to throw the challenge flag at me on Twitter, saying, unfair comparison here, Nick. I was there when Trump came down the escalator. There were fewer than 500 people in the place. All were screened media and friends. Easy to manage, and it didn't start on time. These things rarely do. When last night finally, quote, happened, there were 300K plus during the event. To me, the Q&A was so unique and worth the delay. And then Opelka also goes on to say that if I keep calling Ron DeSantis pudding fingers, he might not come on my show one day. So let's just flush this out one last time for everybody out there that's listening for the first time. DeSantis is my guy, but I'm objective. I think personally he fumbled last night. And to be honest, I couldn't care less if Ron DeSantis turned down the invite to come on this show because I'm not in the business of holding hands and coddling feelings. If you want that, go find a babysitter. I give my honest opinion.
Which Nick may need.
That's right.
In a couple weeks.
And I've got twins and I pay well. But I give my honest opinion and I'm not concerned with people that feel slighted. So you can leave the feelings for the left and for the Democrats. I deal in facts and findings. And in my world last night, as a DeSantis guy, bad look. Does it mean he's done? No. But first impressions matter and people have the attention span of a mosquito.
It doesn't matter how many people were in attendance for Trump coming down the escalator. Everybody remembers that. Everybody will remember that forever.
Because it was on video, to Greg's point. I agree with Greg. And I disagree with Mike because I think we all feel like we were there. It's an iconic moment.
Yep.
It's captured and lives forever on video.
Yep. It's probably,
and it was grandiose.
Yeah, no, can you name another announcement from a presidential candidate? You know what I mean? The only thing that I can think of is Obama when he did the and it wasn't him announcing. I think it was after with the golden pillars behind him that looked like a Roman Colosseum. Like there's very few political speeches or political anything that really stick out in your mind. The Nixon Kennedy thing is one that don't always reference. That's a very famous one. But Trump going down the escalator, whether you love him or hate him, everybody remembers it.
And you got to stop thinking like, the way you think is how everybody else thinks. I think my generation, my age, and I'll be 40 in a couple of months, on up to people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, they have much better attention spans and they can process and digest things. The younger people today, they live in this snapshot moment world. Because life is now nothing more than a GIF, a meme, a screenshot, a tweet. Like everything is just so boiled down to this one specific moment. Like basically the social media era is a snapshot era. It's a picture. And the image you're going to hear of for Twitter Spaces and Ron DeSantis and Elon Musk is the first thing people think of, most people I would assume, is, oh, that didn't go off too well. I don't know, to Dawn's credit, you listen to a lot of the financial stuff towards the end, and that's really important stuff and stuff that matters. But for the 26-year-old out there that is, immediately going to pivot to the next app on his phone, that person might not have gotten to that point.
Yeah, but I listened to the whole thing. He talked about, for example, the discrimination that's happening within the Biden administration, how they've woven in all this woke stuff, and it's basically anti-white male or unless you are LGBTQ plus and you're a person of color, ethnicity, or different gender, whatever, it's tougher for you to get a job or a contract. And so on that point, I think that does score some points with different individuals. But I just think your take on the fact that when Trump did any announcement, or whether it was the escalator or anything, it was flawless. He's built things. He always, that he ran a company. He was a media mogul, a business mogul, all of that, and everything, down to the last detail, it was covered and perfect. And think about the times that you see presidents over history trip or do goofy stuff. With Trump, those moments are all planned out and they're done well. All the debuts, everything.
Yeah.
It's planned out. So to your point on that one, you could say, did this look or sound presidential?
Yeah.
And that's part of it. Do you have the look? We heard that in our mayoral race. People saying, I don't know that so-and-so looks like a mayor. And whether we want to say that's silly or not, the truth is, if you don't have the look,
presentation matters.
You're not going to get the job.
And, you talk about Trump and 500 people all packed in this little venue going down the escalator. Okay, it might only be 500 people, but it looked jammed packed, right? So DeSantis has 300,000, 400,000, 600,000, 170,000, but Elon Musk had up to 3 million. So let me ask you this. If you're doing, let's say you're going to book an arena or a stadium, would you rather book the Wells Fargo Center and sell it out 20,000 strong, packed to the rafters, or would you rather do a presentation at the Link, 65,000, but only have 42,000 seats sold and have 23,000 empty seats? I'd rather fill up the 20,000 arena and make it feel congested and a lot of people in there than go to a bigger venue and only sell about 2/3 of the tickets. That's the way I view this. Trump packed it in. Okay, it was pre-screened, but it looked big. DeSantis had apparently what you would at least think in theory is an endless ability to bring people in, and you brought in a couple 100,000 and it crashed and burned.
Well, they said they had the technical crashing. They said that they would take questions that were unscripted.
Yeah.
They took a few very specific conservative people, and so it wasn't like a public town hall Q&A. And I also think with the DeSantis camp, we have to remember that he's not that fully vetted candidate who's ever truly been on the national stage.
Yep.
He cannot compare to a Trump. Trump has been there even before Trump was president. He was a national figure. He was famous. He was on NBC network news for 17 years with a #1 show that aired. They would re-air him all the time on The Apprentice. So he already was very comfortable and is very comfortable in that space.
Yes.
I think, to me, this was a soft launch to let DeSantis kind of get used to the water type thing, because I think we have to remember he's a rookie at running for president. He's 44 years young. Yes, he's been a state guy, but how much national type experience does he really have?
It's a good point. 855-839-1210. I totally blew through the news with Dawn. We should be wrapping up the news, but I'm a terrible navigator, and now it's 7:13, so I'm going to stalk her on the air. I'll ask you the question. Should we get to Dawn's news now, or should we save it till the other segment? 'Cause I'm an idiot.
Can you give us two quick headlines, Dawn?
Yeah, let me
and get the sponsor
and give
in?
our sponsor by Fell's Kids, and one of the busiest travel days of the year. Philadelphia Airport roads expected throughout the day today and tomorrow. So just think about that, because post-pandemic, this is 1 year that's going to be for the records, they say, as we're sponsored by Fell's Kids. I talked a lot about the violence that struck us overnight and last night in Philadelphia, so searching for suspects. And then I talked about our Phils winning and Trey Turner providing that turning point with a game-tying homer. Phils win 6-5 against the AZ Diamondbacks. Phils now head out of town, beginning a 4-game series against the Braves in Atlanta. And I have to mention, something I think everybody's paying tribute. Last night and this morning, Tina Turner, explosive energy, singular rasp. I mean, she was she's like an icon, right? And everybody's thinking about her 1985 here in Philadelphia, Live Aid. She died at the age of 83.
What's love got to do? Yeah.
And that was what that was 1983, that song? Is that?
I think it's the same year I was born, 83 or 84.
So Tina Turner, just a tribute to her. Join Fells Kids, June 11th, noon to 4 for an afternoon of family fun at Fellstival. Yeah, Fellstival featuring free children's activities, food trucks, vendors, local artisans, Power Wheel giveaways. RSVP today, fellskids.org. T-Mobile Weather Center forecast. We're in the low 70s today and tomorrow with mostly sunny skies. The weekend in the city of Philadelphia, upper 70s, 77-ish. However, down the shore, more like 73 to 75 degrees in Ocean City and our favorite shore point, Sea Isle City. And then Monday warms up a bit, 83 in the city, upper 70s down the shore, but some clouds moving in for Monday, Memorial Day. This is Kayal Company News Live.
We got to call that segment right there. Stenzlin saves the segment. As we got through the news in 90 seconds, because I'm an idiot and damn near forgot about the whole thing.
You got me talking too. We're fired up.
I know, this DeSantis stuff with Elon Musk last night and all the reaction is fascinating. We'll continue that. If you want to jump in on the phones, you can certainly do so. 855-839-1210. The cut sheet at 745. Up next, Sunny Hosting gets fact-checked right in her earpiece live on The View on TV yesterday about Elon Musk and Ron DeSantis. It was glorious. You'll hear that when we come back. Stay there.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Do you want a beautiful home that's easy to maintain? I've been telling you about a great company that does just that. John Gilgee is here to tell you in his own words. Take it away, my friend.
Hello, it's John from Rhino Shield, reminding you that spring is here and Rhino Shield is ready to help you paint your home for the last time. Our permanent exterior house paint is not ordinary paint. It's a ceramic house coating that goes on like paint and looks like paint, but is guaranteed for 25 years. If your home's exterior isn't looking as good as you'd like, Rhino Shield is the solution you've been looking for. It's affordable because you only have to paint one last time, and it protects your home with a durable and waterproof coating that goes on any exterior surface. Find out why so many of your neighbors are choosing the permanent paint solution from Rhino Shield by calling to schedule your free estimate today at 844-RHINO-99. That's 844-744-6699.
If the market volatility of the past year has made you nervous about your retirement future, you're not alone.
So many people are waiting for the perfect time to retire. And those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
But that doesn't mean that it's hopeless. Jim Cipriotti has been helping people get to, through, and beyond retirement for over 20 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, now on Saturday mornings at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
He's a former coach with two sons who played professional basketball. Satch Sullinger's a competitive individual, but his golf game was suffering because of painful joints.
Right, that's real important, the golf game. Right, as we get older, we create these bad habits because we're relegated to hit a certain way.
QC Kinetics used regenerative treatments, all natural healing properties from Satch's own body, to restore those damaged joints and get his golf game back on track.
QC Kinetics Regenerative Medicine is regenerating me, all natural. And that's what I'm about. I'm going to tell everybody why I'm better.
Oh, and by the way, looks like the competitive Satch is back.
We're all in the same boat, and I'm getting better, and I'm watching them stay old.
Go to QCkinetics.com. Get relief and your game back. Call for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000. That's 215-999-3000. 215-999-3000.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, Costco members have a $2,500 incentive on the purchase or lease of an electric Volvo. There is a $1,000 incentive on all gas and hybrid 2023 models. Explore this safe and versatile 2023 XC90 and take advantage of special financing, a rate of under 5%. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo for a full list of extraordinary offers for both new and previously owned Cherry Hill Volvos. Visit us now. We have the inventory and we have competitive offers.
Growing a business brings pressure. It's not easy to maintain momentum and still keep employees engaged. Fortunately, there's Insperity. Their scalable HR solutions help me with hiring, training, HR administration, and compliance while giving my employees competitive benefit options. When my people are able to thrive, my business can adapt and prosper. With Insperity, nothing seems impossible. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
Phillies baseball is in full swing.
It's a 3-run home run for Alec Bohm and a 6 RBI night.
With the free Odyssey app, local fans can listen live all summer long, whether you're at the grill or at the pool.
The ball bobbled. The Phillies win. Bryson Stott has won it.
Phillies baseball. Phillies announcers. Streaming live on the free Odyssey app. AUDACY. Get in the game and download it today.
There's no better way to kick off summertime than with a new hot tub from my friends at Spring Dance Hot Tubs. Just picture this on a beautiful, crisp evening like tonight, the moon and the stars and the privacy of your own back patio, your own backyard. You just slip into your own Spring Dance hot tub, whether it's by yourself, whether it's the one you love, a little glass of wine. There's nothing better. It feels so good because it is. Right now at Spring Dance Hot Tubs, you're going to get a free Bluetooth stereo system integrated right into your hot tub when you purchase select Caldera Spa hot tub models. Plus, they have some of their best-selling hot tubs for less than $200 a month. Yeah, $200 a month? Take advantage of Memorial Day savings on their best-selling hot tubs, or you can check out their swim spas. So unlike a pool, their endless pool fitness systems allow you to swim, exercise, or just hang out with the family all year long, no matter the season. So kick off the best summer yet with a new hot tub or swim spa from Spring Dance Hot Tubs. I love my Spring Dance hot tub. You're going to love it too. Visit them in Jamison, Exton, Marlton, New Jersey, Plymouth Meeting, or online, springdancehottubs.com. Springdancehottubs.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Free speech lives here. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
What's on the cut sheet coming up? Just about 25 minutes out. I remember the time Elon Musk and Ron DeSantis fell flat on their face. It was last night. How could you forget? It's Kayal Company, 722, Thursday morning. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. Streaming on the Odyssey app. You can watch us on YouTube. Still ahead this morning, another reason to hate the Los Angeles Dodgers. And it has nothing really to do with the actual game of baseball if you're a Phillies fan, but the Dodgers essentially bending the knee to the trans drag community and allowing them to mock Catholics and Christians outside of their stadium. That story coming up in just a little bit. Philadelphia with a population decline in the latest census data. We'll get to that. John Fetterman knows nothing about the 14th Amendment, apparently. So we'll get to that story. And Disney's reputation taking a nosedive. All of that as we continue. But yesterday, leading up to the Twitter Spaces, Elon Musk, Ron DeSantis announcement, all the shows were certainly talking about it. We were, every show on this station, every show in mainstream media, including the Nitwits and Stooges on The View. And Sunny Hostin apparently gets fact-checked in her earpiece live on TV. So yesterday, and we'll play you the clip in a second, she was pretty devastated to find out in the middle of one of the takes that she was having, mid-sentence, that her expectation of Elon Musk's approval rating being in the toilet was wrong. They were talking about approval ratings of a lot of people, from Elon Musk to Donald Trump to Joe Biden to Ron DeSantis and a few others, Kamala Harris, Mike Pence, things like that. And I guess they were going to get to the actual percentages. And Sunny, probably as uninformed as it gets on that show, short of Joy Behar. I think Joy Behar might be the absolute worst on the planet. She got this completely wrong mid-sentence. Let's take a listen. Here's Sunny Hostin being fact-checked by somebody in a production truck.
That's why I wonder who's sort of advising him at this point, because as you said, 20% of Americans, or only 20% of Americans are on Twitter, and out of those 20%, 80% are the loudest and the ones that make the most noise. And so you're hearing from such a small group of people, and when you compare a Twitter announcement with Elon Musk, who I don't know what his approval rating is, but it's like in the toilet, 40... You know what it is. I'm sorry. I was just told he's more favorable than Biden and Trump, which scares me. But so it's 47%. But when you compare that, right?
Wow.
How quickly did that fact checker get in her ear and say, "You're wrong. He's number one," and she looked completely embarrassed on that. If you've seen the video, I believe it was Elon Musk at 47% approval rating. Slightly below him is Trump, Biden, and DeSantis. So, this was obviously pre-last night. Maybe his approval rating goes down a little bit after the technical issues. But if you're going to try to make this overarching point about Twitter is just a small little, niche community, which she's not wrong in that. And then you're going to try to claim, see, this is where they allow their personal bias and their hatred toward Elon Musk to cloud their judgment in making and crafting an argument. You can't sit there and try to make the case that Elon Musk's approval rating is, quote, in the toilet, and then he's got a higher approval rating than everybody you either prop up, like Joe Biden, or have equal disdain with Elon Musk for in Donald Trump, because they're all in the 40-some% ranking area, that percentile. There's nobody on this list that they were going to get to that was above 50%. You've got to be unbelievable to have an approval rating well above 50%. Because I think the point of this is, when you're a polarizing public figure, you almost always have half of the people that don't like you. So 47%, you think, that sounds low. It's actually not low, considering Elon Musk is a pretty polarizing guy, right? Think about this. The left used to love him. Smart car, electric vehicle, climate change. Elon's our guy. Wait, you're buying Twitter for $44 billion to restore Republicans and conservatives' platform? No, now we hate you and we can't get rid of the Tesla fast enough. So I think Elon Musk, as boring as he is, as smart as he is a very polarizing guy.
I think now he is.
Yeah.
But where is his end game? Because what's ironic to me is Elon is now, conservatives think, hey, he's our guy and he gave us free speech and brought the free speech back. But remember, he's a climate change guy. Yep. He was an Obama guy because of the climate change, and that's why he created Tesla. And so does Elon Musk, and think about the wind turbines at the Jersey Shore that have brought in all the Republican support, does Elon Musk bring conservatives and Republicans to the point that conservatives and Republicans are the party that's pro-environment? Mm-hmm. I wonder about that. But I just think jobs, as far as Trump, he's going to go big on, hey, I'm the guy who brought unprecedented peace and prosperity and jobs, and I think he will work hard to attract those union jobs.
I agree. And then lastly, on approval ratings and who's polarizing and what your reputation is, apparently Disney's reputation has plummeted following their Don't Say Gay bill opposition. I got some numbers here for you when it comes to, and this kind of ties in obviously to DeSantis and the battle he has waged against Walt Disney. But in 2014, Axios Harris and that poll, the Axios Harris poll, found that Disney carried a reputation score of 83 out of 100. The score represents measurements across multiple dimensions such as character, trust, and trajectory. That number has since declined to 70% out of 100. The company now ranks as the 5th most polarizing brand of the 100 companies on the list. Axios cites, quote, polarizing political drama for their fall from grace. Specifically, the study references Disney's tangling with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis over students' LGBTQ+ rights. Quote, in voicing opposition to DeSantis and the so-called Don't Say Gay bill last year, Disney gained favor with Democrats, but took such a large Republican hit with Republicans that its overall reputation score was severely impacted, says the study. Disney's reputation score actually increased from 80 to 80.3% from 72.5% amongst Democrats. So it went up just about 8 points, but it plunged to 61 from 75 amongst Republicans. That's a gap of 19.3 and 14.9 points higher than the average. All in, Disney lost momentum across each of the 9 attributes that the poll measures. They lost 6.2 points in perceptions of future growth, 4.3 points on citizenship, and 2.9 points on ethics. The lesson here, according to Axios, is, quote, that when you divide, you subtract. When you divide audiences, you're ultimately going to be subtracting customers from your business. So I never thought that I'd be able to sit here and say that Disney is one of the most polarizing entities out of a top 100 businesses. But here they are, the 5th most polarizing company, all because they got super left wing, and obviously in part because DeSantis has gone to battle with them. I know there's like a debate of who's actually winning, who's losing. I mean, you could probably make the case for both, but at least on this measure from Axios, Disney's reputation has taken a big hit here, which is interesting.
Oh, hot diggity dog. We tucked our dog and now we got trouble.
Oh, toodles. So figured we would share that with you.
He'll come back. I mean, that's why Bob Iger is back. I think he'll bring things back.
Okay. 855-839-1210, the phone number, the cut sheet at 745. People leaving Philadelphia. We'll give you the details as to why and just how many have fled the city of brotherly love. And we'll do that coming up in a moment. But today's my final day. I got to give back the 2023 Land Rover Defender, the 90 that I've been using with the Piazza Auto Group. It was 4 glorious weeks, but I finally have my truck, my permanent vehicle. I will tell you about that after the holiday, but I've absolutely enjoyed the Land Rover Defender 90. The one I'm using right now for one last day, Fuji white color, black rims. It is stunning. It's got a reputation for being rugged with go-anywhere utility, and if you're in for that kind of vehicle, you like to go off-roading, big family excursions. Maybe you've got 5 sons and 3 daughters and you need to pack everything in. This is the vehicle for you. And it comes in an unbelievable amount of varieties. They have the 2-door Defender 90, which I'm using right now. The 4-door Defender 110, a little bit bigger. And then, of course, you have the 8-passenger Defender 130, which is perfect for the all-terrain family expedition with up to 8 people on board in superior comfort and safety. The Defender 90 and the 110, the 2 smaller models, they have 3 engine choices. How about a 2-liter 4-cylinder, better on gas, 3-liter 6-cylinder, or the monstrous 5-liter V8. You can visit Land Rover of Westchester, Willow Grove, or Wilmington today, or you can shop online right now. Just do it on your smartphone. PiazzaPremiumAutos.com.
Jesse Waters Primetime, weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox News Channel.
This is going to be fun to watch.
Jesse is tackling the nation's top headlines, delivering critical insight.
The White House track record here isn't great. This is bigger than politics.
And never backing down on the issues that matter most.
The name of the game is always the same. Win big.
Don't miss Jesse Waters Primetime, weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox News Channel. America is watching.
You're invited to a private showing of the most important movie you'll see in retirement. The Baby Boomer Dilemma is a groundbreaking documentary from award-winning director Doug Orchard. Throughout the film, Nobel Prize winners, PhDs, and esteemed economists expose the cracks in the financial industry that have 401ks, IRAs, Social Security, and other retirement plans on the brink of collapse. After the movie, you'll receive an education that's unlike any other. Learn how to apply the solutions presented by these experts, which align with and validate our proprietary crash-proof retirement system, proven by over 5,000 consumers. Register for this complimentary screening at the William Penn Inn on June 6th and let Crash Proof Retirement provide you the crucial information you need to avoid the baby boomer dilemma that's on the horizon. Registration is required. Call 800-722-9728 or visit crashproofretirement.com.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
This is Larry Steinhaus of Investor Schooling. I am so proud to announce the continuing success of our students at Investor Schooling. You already know that at Investor Schooling, we teach real estate investing and stock options. Did you also know that we teach things about tax savings, estate planning, and business coaching as well? We teach things about money I bet you never knew. At Investor Schooling, we teach from the perspective of true experience. If you want to see what our students think about Investor Schooling, please check out the over 160 5-star Google reviews. To find out more about how you can change your financial life, go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday at 7 p.m. Attend that class and see for yourself what Investor Schooling is all about. Go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829. We can't wait to see you this Thursday.
Calling on Media PA to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
I don't mind coming here, wasting all my time.
Kayal Company, 736. We are all on live here on a Thursday morning. Nick, Dawn, Greg, Daniel, Anthony. What's on the cut sheet coming up in just about 8 minutes. Should be an epic cut sheet this morning. All sorts of characters, to say the least, that you will hear from. Oh, what a song. This is
Peter McKeon.
Yeah, for some reason I just never can remember that.
Highlight Electric, Clifton Heights, New Jersey. I'm sorry,
PA.
Clifton Heights, PA. What? Now I'm doing what you did.
As Dawn said, it's
Delco, baby.
Delco, baby.
Yes.
Come on.
Highlight
Electric. Give them a call.
Yes. We got a lot to do this morning. We got to get to this battle against religion that is going on in this country. We've got two stories to hit on. One that includes the Los Angeles Dodgers basically, I think, spitting in the face of Catholics, which is just unbelievable because you would never be able to get away with what they allowed to happen to any other religious group. And there's no question in my mind. Also, the education department warning schools against encouraging private prayer and other religious activity. So got some thoughts on both of those stories. And then also we've got more book banning stories to get to in the world of print publications. But I just wanted to spend 6 or 7 minutes on this because, you know, this is our city. You know, whether you live in the city, whether you live in the suburbs and just come in for work or for, you know, a dinner or a sporting event or whatever it might be. But I saw this on CBS 3 yesterday, CBS Philadelphia. Philadelphia population continues a downward trend. Geez, I wonder why. You know who I feel like? I feel like Jeff Goldblum in Independence Day when him and his old man are in the car and they're going in towards the nation's capital as everybody's fleeing Washington, D.C. He's like, look at this, son. Everybody's leaving the city. We're the only two schmucks trying to get in. Like, I'm the only guy that moved back to this area. I must be doing it for a reason. But the Philadelphia population continues a downward trend as just last year, Philadelphia lost 36,500 residents. So I'm reading this directly from CBS News. Philadelphia continued to slump behind major U.S. cities based on population. According to new data released this month from the United States Census Bureau, Philly remained the sixth most populous in the nation behind Phoenix, but lost over 36,500 residents. Philadelphia and Phoenix had nearly identical population numbers in the 2020 census, but a trend continued in 2022. The census data shows that Philly's population shrank while Phoenix's increased. That's real surprising. Geez, would you like to live in the desert where it's nice and warm and people are going to have a great time? Or do you want to get shot at on a SEPTA bus? That's your call. Phoenix saw its population increase by 36,219. Philadelphia's decreased by 36,541. Meanwhile, 9 of the U.S.'s fastest growing cities were in the South, led by Georgetown, Texas. Never heard of that. I know Austin, Texas has become very populated, but Georgetown, Texas leading the way. Philadelphia's population decline is consistent with the Northeast as a whole as people started leaving the cities during the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2022 alone, the Northeast as an entire region lost on estimated average of 218,000 people. And Pennsylvania as a whole, as a state, lost residents in 2022 as well, but remained the fifth most populous state. So whether it is the COVID pandemic and the way we really clamped down on civil liberties, your rights, and really your freedom, or when we go specifically in Philadelphia, the amount of crime, the lawlessness, just everything that you hear from the news, especially when Dawn gives it to you at 6:05 and today at 7:13 in 90 seconds because I'm an idiot. You have so many people that, and you think, well, Philadelphia, millions of people, what's 36,000 residents? I mean, I'm a little surprised it's not more, to be honest, but I mean, I'm not shocked in the least that people are trying to get out because, let's face it, with guys like Larry Krasner, Jim Kenney, the defund the police movement, our educational system, gun violence, and the fact that people just don't feel safe. I'm not surprised that Philadelphia had those numbers. I would not be surprised to see what New York's numbers are. I'm not surprised when I see San Francisco losing businesses like Whole Foods and Target. I mean, there's a common theme here. And at least in Philadelphia, we can say, well, it's the common theme plus the weather. Like in San Francisco, the weather's pretty darn good, right?
It's like 60.
It's better than Philadelphia.
It's nice. But it's people are going where the jobs are going. And you think of all the jobs going to Texas. Elon Musk left California and went to Texas, like you're saying.
Yeah.
And so I think people are moving also because of the jobs, the crime, but schools. Let us not forget. And in the headlines, with Sherelle Parker and the city of Philadelphia, the Inquirer today, Tony Watlington, the new superintendent of schools, they're all talking about year-round schools.
That's coming up today, right? Or tonight.
And so, I think that they're realizing in the city of Philadelphia, families, parents, I mean, and you're talking about this year's numbers, but nobody's really adding it all up since 2020?
Yeah.
You look at those numbers, and then we get our state and federal dollars based on each child. So the fact we've lost that many school kids means our schools get less money.
Oh, great.
Jeff on YouTube says, did the 36,000 move or were they murdered?
Well, I was going to make a joke that these are people moving, not people being shot.
Yeah. 91 LSXers say gun violence, Krasner, and 3 out of 4 sports teams sucking. Yeah, that's a good reason.
I don't know that they suck. They just didn't get as far as they,
Our sports teams have sucked in the past, and not this many people made a mass
We're actually in a pretty
exodus.
good cycle of sports right now.
I mean,
But, you look at the crime, and then, I hope these 36,500 residents, however many of them are black, didn't go to Florida because they're under attack in Florida. Florida's a terrorist.
Danger.
So if you're a black person in Philadelphia, would you rather continually be shot at, or do you want to move to a terrorist state? Those are your choices, right? Philly or Florida, if you listen to the mainstream media. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But, and it's to your Dawn, you're spot on with the jobs, the opportunities. And then, you look at some of these places like Florida, like Texas, red states. They believe in law and order. And they also, One of the other things that DeSantis can prop up for anybody that's looking to move from Philly or Pennsylvania or any blue city or state is the education. And you heard in the second clip this morning of The Big Take, his response to the NAACP, African-American children are excelling in Florida schools right now. So you can sit here and try to spin it however you would like, NAACP, but the fact is there are more business owners in Florida that are black, and the black community is thriving academically in Florida. And oh, by the way, that's with what the mainstream media tells us with the AP African-American Studies in colleges and universities. They're erasing black history. Well, we got into that debate yesterday. They're not. But the African-American community is doing pretty well in the schools of Florida. It's amazing when you focus on like education, safety, freedom, lower taxes, and more job opportunities, how people just really want to flock to your state on top of the unbelievably good weather if you like hot and humid, which I do because I hate cold and gray. So there you go. How about that? 7:45, right on the dot. Stalker, I hit it exactly on time this morning for you.
It's the first time in May.
First time in May.
Yeah.
Hey, on the 25th day of the month, better late than never.
Exactly.
Let's get to what's on the cut sheet.
What's on the cut sheet?
Yes, Nick Ham. What's on the cut sheet today is sponsored by our good friends at Cherry Hill Volvo, where Costco members save like $2,500 on the XC40 or $1,000 on other models. They can be combined with other offers. See store for details. Relationships matter at Cherry Hill Volvo. Check them out on Route 70 in Cherry Hill. Go in and see Judith and Joseph. Tell them you heard about us on 1210 WPHT, Kayal Company, Rich Zioli Show, whatever, 1210 WPHT. Check them out on Route 70 in Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships matter. So we've discussed a lot about Ron DeSantis' big Twitter Spaces debacle last night. But then after the Twitter Spaces, he went on with Trey Gowdy on the 8 p.m. Fox News show. And they started off the conversation discussing what happened on Twitter Spaces. And the DeSantis camp is, hey, look, we broke the internet. We broke the internet. I think it's a decent talking point to have. This is how he sounded last night.
We had a huge audience. It was the biggest they'd ever had. It did break the Twitter space. And so we're really excited with the enthusiasm. But ultimately, it's about the future of our country. Trey, I'm running to lead a great American comeback. We know the country's on the wrong track. We see it with our eyes. We feel it in our bones. We see the border being overrun. We see crime infesting the cities. We see the federal government making it more difficult for families to make ends meet. And we have a president who is a listless vessel, not energetic, and not dealing with the key challenges that are facing our country. But it does not have to be this way. Our decline as a country is not inevitable. It is a choice. And I think we can choose a better pathway. And so what I will do is help restore normalcy to our communities, integrity to our institutions, and sanity to our society. Truth needs to be the foundation of everything we do, and common sense can no longer be an uncommon virtue. We proved it could be done in Florida. We chose facts over fear when it wasn't popular. We chose education over indoctrination. And we've chosen law and order over rioting and disorder. If we can do it there, we can do it for the country.
And the
pledge I'll make for people is simply this. We need to win again as Republicans. We got to dispense with this culture of losing. And if you nominate me, I pledge to you that on January 20th, 2025 at high noon, that I'll be the guy on the west side of the Capitol with the left hand on the Bible and the right hand in the air, taking the oath of office as the 47th President of the United States. No more excuses. We've got to get this one done. And anybody that's so inclined to help us, I would love to have your support at rondesantis.com. If you make a donation, maybe we can break that part of the internet as well.
You think, like, as he's talking there and Trey is staring into the camera. Now, Dawn, you have to educate me on this. As Trey is staring into the camera, does he not only see DeSantis, but is there also a camera where he can see himself? Because if I'm Trey Gowdy at that point, I'm just looking at my own hair, and I'm like, my hair looks really good.
That'd be funny if you started going, how's my eyebrow looking? That would have been more interesting. I go back to the voice and the way that he says his tone.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, we have to win. We're the party. If you elect me, it's this sort of monotone thing that's almost reminds me of somebody who's just memorizing what they're saying.
Right.
And so he needs to look, it's beautifully written, and what he says is great.
It's got to be more conversational.
Conversational, but passion, authenticity, all the things we talk about. You don't have to speak in a perfect manner.
Right.
But as human beings, we also communicate through what is unspoken.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, you can have a conversation with somebody, and they're saying all the right words, right? But you're looking at their face and you're listening to the way they say it, and you're thinking, is this person genuine?
Yeah.
Is this coming from the heart? Do they really mean this?
I think he is genuine, but I think it's the Harvard Law, Yale undergrad. And here's the best way I can describe this guy. He's very methodical. He's almost too methodical.
Mm-hmm.
It almost, in a lot of
almost
ways.
AI-ish.
Yes. Well, and I said, I think yesterday, if artificial intelligence had a voice, it would be Elon Musk. Like, I think that's the way artificial intelligence would probably talk. You merge him and DeSantis together, there's your real life AI right there. But there's this element to DeSantis that I'm going to make a comparison here, and I get it. This guy failed. He should be ashamed. But Dr. Oz, he lost to Fetterman. It's a joke that he lost to him. But there was times in the fall where I said, Dr. Oz comes off too polished. It's too much talking points. It's too much memorizing the script. That's the military and the Ivy League mixture of DeSantis there. I need you to be more human. A little more humanization here. Not so much of the bullet point. Like, move your hands a little bit. Smile. Give me something more than just, Florida is where woke goes to die. Yeah, we know that. And I love that. But, dude, I need more than that.
Yeah, with Dr. Oz, I think the issue was more that people felt like, first of all, the carpetbagger stuff that was from his fellow Republicans, it stuck. People felt like, you know what, this is a wealthy doctor, a very successful surgeon, obviously, but he just wants to be a senator. And is he really for me? Is he really going to fight for Pennsylvania? And so it goes back to that authenticity and that passion. I'm sure he would have. He would have certainly. I think he would have done a good job. But I think that people just didn't feel that passion, weren't fired up about him for that reason.
Yeah.
And with Elon Musk, I know that he speaks in a certain pattern, and he's on the spectrum and all that. He's a genius and a billionaire and an inventor, and so you sort of expect that he is going to be a quirky, different guy. But Elon Musk, when he speaks, there are these long pauses. It's a bit awkward.
Yeah.
That's authentic. It's actually, it works for him.
Yeah.
With DeSantis, I would say he's not necessarily a good public speaker, quite frankly. He is actually coming across as apathetic.
Is he a little?
He's saying the words. He's saying all the right words.
Does he feel too corporate?
Too corporate, a little, what I think Americans don't want, especially after the pandemic. And you just talked about that census that shows that more than 200,000 people left the Northeast, not just Philadelphia, in 1 year on the East Coast here.
Yeah.
Why is that? There's also a lack of trust of the government here. Overall, lack of trust, and just, I'm out of here. I'm going somewhere where I believe in the government. I believe in the jobs. I believe in the educational system for my kids. All of that's going on.
Yep.
And so for DeSantis, he needs to, and he's not on a prompter there.
No.
But he needs to come off as, just speaking from the heart, and not in a perfect, flawless way. And not in that monotone, that flat, I can't quite imitate it, but we're going to win, and I promise you. It's this sort of strange way of speaking.
I picked up on what you said last night, too. He pronounced his last name differently again.
He did.
He said DeSantis.
Yeah.
He did.
Not Ron DeSantis, but Ron DeSantis.
It happened during that the speech that he made, or the video that announced he was running for president. Let me actually run.
Because we have the full one.
This is Cut 9, boys. This is, I'm running for president to lead a great American comeback. This is his produced ad that he put out yesterday.
Our border is a disaster. Crime infests our cities. The federal government makes it harder for families to make ends meet, and the president flounders. But decline is a choice. Success is attainable, and freedom is worth fighting for. Righting the ship requires restoring sanity to our society, normalcy to our communities, and integrity to our institutions. Truth must be our foundation, and common sense can no longer be an uncommon virtue. In Florida, we proved that it can be done. We chose facts over fear, education over indoctrination, law and order over rioting and disorder. We held the line when freedom hung in the balance. We showed that we can and must revitalize America. We need the courage to lead and the strength to win. I'm Ron DeSantis, and I'm running for president to lead our great American comeback.
As soon as I heard that last night, because by the way, he posted that, and all the Team DeSantis people and his wife and everything and all the Twitter feeds, they posted that at like 5:58 last night. That's the full minute and a half. We gave you the 30-second snippet yesterday because all they gave us was the little trailer and the teaser. And as soon as I heard DeSantis, I saw Dawn Stensland on my shoulder like a little like I told you, DeSantis. Like, you're just like sitting there, Dawn, like my good conscience.
By the way, we're streaming live on YouTube, youtube.com/@1210 WPHT. Please hit the subscribe button. If you're watching right now, please hit the like button as well. I want to get up to 100 likes right now for this segment here. Pat writes on YouTube, Dawn. She says, Dawn, for the first time, I have to disagree with you on Ron DeSantis. If he could do for the U.S. what he did for Florida, he has my vote.
Yeah, my take is looking at the media and the candidate. And so think about this in the big picture right now. Think about a country that we've been put through it. We've been lied to. We're like an abused spouse over here, right?
We're like Tina Turner.
Back with Ike.
Too soon.
Sorry.
Too soon. Yeah.
The late Tina Turner.
Finally she's reunited with Ike.
Oh no, he's okay.
He took the escalator down.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Tina took the elevator up.
But look at the big picture. Ultimately, the economy is suffering. People are suffering. We're post-pandemic. We don't know what to think with the health news. World Health Organization just comes out again and says, well, there's another deadly thing on the way. Who do you believe? Who do you trust? I think in 2024, when voters actually go, and I think it will be Trump, Biden. I do, ultimately.
So do I.
And I think you go with who you know, with who you trust. That's what it comes down to. And what I'm looking at as a media person, as somebody who's covered this for so long, I'm looking for those idiosyncrasies. I'm looking for somebody who says their name inconsistently. And then I wonder, is he saying DeSantis because of DeSanctimonious instead of, is that getting in his head? I don't know. But I think that ultimately it will come down to, who do Americans know? Who do they trust? I don't necessarily feel that this would be a year for somebody who's unproven, especially because that person is not emerging as, hey, I've got this.
Right.
And it's early.
Yeah.
So maybe DeSantis now comes into his own and we evolve with him. And so that could happen. We're early.
Yeah.
And I agree with Pat. Yeah, he did great things for Florida, but can he withstand doing it for the nation when we know that there's a tidal wave of opposition?
Yep.
So just as many anti-Trumpers, they're going to be anti-DeSantis.
Oh, he's going to get hit with everything just like Trump did.
Because of the way we are in America, the way the government is, and because the deck is stacked against you when you are a conservative Republican president.
Yep.
And so that's just the game.
It is. That's well said. I mean, my whole differentiation between DeSantis and Trump, and liking both guys as I do, is the only thing I've been saying is that I believe DeSantis gives the Republicans the best chance to take back the White House in 2024. I don't think Trump will get past Biden for a litany of reasons, but I also have said DeSantis' biggest battle, I think, is beating Trump. I think he could beat Biden. I think he's got a better chance to beat Biden. I know polls say otherwise, but we just look at this. And regardless, at the end of the day, DeSantis is a proven policy winner on a state level. Trump is a proven policy winner on the grandest of stages. We're going to get really good policy with either one of them. It's just a matter of, can you somehow get past this incompetent guy with the lowest poll numbers since
By the way,
Jimmy Carter?
This is good for democracy, though. Let these guys fight it out. That's
I know.
That's what the primary season is supposed to be about. This isn't a monarchy. We don't just hand somebody the keys to the kingdom.
Right.
Like let them earn it. Let's go. Let's get in there. Let's get in. Put your boxing gloves on and let's do this.
The main thing we have to do, though, is once the primary is over, and whether it's Don or Ron, everybody has to come together for the greater cause of beating the Democrats. And the Democrats, at the end of the day, always seem to come together, get on the same page, and rally.
That's true.
We can't have this, well, he's too establishment, or Trump's got no... Like, at the end of the day, you got to back whoever emerges from this, what I like to call the AFC Championship. Because the Super Bowl's coming up, and the Super Bowl is against Biden.
He also brought up the woke stuff with Trey Gowdy last night. You brought this up, Nick. This is what he said about woke ideology going in the dustbin of history, one of his favorite talking points.
Yep.
Is that an example of something Governor DeSantis might become involved with, but President DeSantis would not? I mean, the president has a different role. There would not be that, I guess, interconnectivity with a private business, or do you think it's also appropriate for a president to do that?
Well, if there was somehow a federally conferred private government given to a corporation like you had with Disney, then that could potentially be something that you would do. But I don't think that exists anywhere else in the country. So I think this was a unique setup involving the state of Florida and this one company. And it started many, many decades ago, but clearly it's not something that was viable going forward. So I just don't think you would have the same set of facts, a president vis-a-vis what a governor would do in this situation. But we will, as president, lean in against woke ideology and against the sexualization of children. It's wrong, Trey, what they're trying to do to these kids. We're not going to abide by it. And in Florida, we say we're the state where woke goes to die. As president, I'm going to make sure woke ideology ends up in the dustbin of history.
I want to answer and give my take based on a poll question I posted on Twitter last night. I said, what is the one most important aspect that you need to see from DeSantis tonight with Elon Musk? And the four options were thoughts on Trump, policy, economy/culture wars, or charisma/presentation. 48% said policy, 24% said the economy/culture wars, 16% said charisma and presentation, 12% said thoughts on Trump. I am so glad that those are the percentage responses that we got, because culture wars, battling back against all this woke stuff is very important. But at the end of the day, policy and economy is what matters most. And that's how the results showed up on my feed. You're winning policies, whether it's on the border, whether it's on taxes, anything like that. Ultimately, what affects the everyday American, that's what matters most. Mm-hmm. And trust me, battling back against gender identity and the pronouns and all this woke, silly stuff is very important because it's about the next generation. But, policy and the economy, I think Americans are worried, hey, 70% of us live paycheck to paycheck. Can you help us with that? Can we improve upon where we are economically? So that's how I would answer that clip there.
Do you think conservatives view DeSantis the same way they do Trump, in a way that I think one of the biggest appeals of Trump is that a lot of people look at him like he fights for them, like he will go up to their enemies and kick them in the nuts and, call them out. And do you think DeSantis has that same appeal where conservatives look at him like he's fighting for them?
Two-part answer.
Yeah.
Trump is more bombastic and will show more of the fight, but you say the word conservative, every policy DeSantis enacts in Florida is as conservative as it gets. There's a reason why Florida's more red than ever. Ron DeSantis is every bit of the definition of conservative. Does he fight in the way Trump fights? No, I think DeSantis, and I've been banging on DeSantis all morning, but I think he should get credit for when he says, hey, we just keep putting up wins on the scoreboard. He gets things done. It doesn't come with the charisma that Trump does it, but he's as effective on his stage. I mean, obviously it's a smaller stage, but DeSantis is, I mean, you look at that state, I mean, he just keeps racking up wins.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't come with the sizzle and the sexiness of Trump, but it's effective.
Yeah, I think that DeSantis, and if you listened last night, not watched, listen to that whole interview with Elon Musk last night, DeSantis is impressive, but he reminds me a little bit by a group that I believe he's backed by. It has been reported, the Bush family. He reminds me a bit of Jeb Bush. If you listen to Jeb Bush, he was great with policy. In fact, there were many articles written about the Bush family, that in the family it was believed that Jeb, not George W., would be president. That Jeb was brilliant and he was a great policy guy. Everybody in the family for their lives thought it would be Jeb that would be president. So why was it not Jeb? George W. had this charisma about him. He also, George W., if you remember, he had the story of he had been had alcohol chemical dependency issues. That's why he stopped drinking and went through this. So there was a side to him that was more relatable for people.
A human side.
And
right?
and an empathetic side.
Like, hey, I've got a flaw.
Now, so Jeb Bush, great backstory, and everybody thought, oh, and his wife is Mexican American, and so on and so forth. So, and children are half Mexican, and this and that. So everybody thought, oh, it's Jeb. But when Jeb got up there, what was he like? And you hate to say that. And that's why I went back to that Kennedy-Nixon debate. Once you went with televised television and people watching on TV and somebody's in your living room, and yes, they're a policy wonk and they may be fabulous and brilliant at policy, but if they don't relate to the average American, if that average American looks at somebody like a DeSantis, even though knowing he's been hugely successful in the nation, right? Mm-hmm. And very disciplined and all of that. And they look at him and go, that guy, do I have confidence? Is he really going to fight for me? Is he going to fight for this economy? Is that the president that's going to make things better? And if they don't have that trust and that connection and really feel the passion, he's not going to get their vote.
One thing that Trump and DeSantis really have in common that I love, they both have a disdain for mainstream media. And I think that's one of the reasons why he went to Twitter Spaces, even though I thought it was a failure, is neither one of these guys trust the media. And that's why one of the reasons, amongst many, that the mainstream media attacks these two, because
good point.
They don't make their job easy.
People view Trump as somebody who goes after the establishment and takes on the quote-unquote deep state and all that stuff. They don't view DeSantis as that way. Now, can DeSantis get more – can he work to get more stuff passed than Trump could because Trump was too stubborn or wouldn't work with the other side to do it? Probably. But in the end, is that what the Republican base wants? I don't know that's what they want.
It's a good point. You also, and here's the other thing too, because you're going to have to get some people that are the independents, some of those that are more moderate, maybe even trying to convert, a moderate Democrat. I don't know, because we sit here and say, well, Trump's not going to flip anybody, or Trump's not going to win any of the coin flips, or the people that are kind of wishy-washy. I don't know that DeSantis will either. I don't really see where, and this is, I guess, a knock against DeSantis, I don't see where DeSantis gains amongst independents, just like Trump.
Well, that's why I think he went toward. You think about it. So he's calling Trump, draft dodger. So he's going for the military vote.
Yep.
He is also going for talking about the central bank, talking about Doja coin, talking about crypto, going for that younger, maybe young, hip. Hey, I'm a guy in my early to mid 40s. I get it. And I get some of these policies, and the older folks, they don't get it. I don't know. I mean, I think he's trying to aim for a different audience, because you're right. These presidencies are won by a sliver of the voters. I mean, no matter what, whether you say right now, you're listening. My husband this morning during our first discussion, he had sent me a 2016 clip of Mark Levin, who had said, I won't endorse Trump. I won't vote for Trump. This was back in April of 2016. Republicans are going to vote Republican.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you don't have to worry about that. You've got the base.
Yep.
And so who can you go for? What community can you attract?
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. The only thing I'm thinking of is maybe there are a select few Republicans that won't go Trump this time that did in 20 or did in 16. If it ends up being DeSantis and that gets them out of the House to vote, I mean, maybe that's a win, but I'm in large part agreement with you, Dawn.
And you're bringing up voters. Nowhere that I heard, and in the beginning I was making dinner and mowing the lawn, admittedly, so maybe I missed it when they were talking about women or any women's issues. I didn't hear any issues other than the fact of attracting, moms and talking about the schools, which is a huge issue.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear any women's issues. Certainly the Biden camp will hit that. We'll talk about that all day long.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Biden camp's going to hammer DeSantis for, the whole race angle, which they've already started, and his 6-week heartbeat pro-life stance. Those are their two attack issues, no question.
All right, let's get away from DeSantis for a few minutes.
I'm exhausted by Ron.
Are you guys familiar with the brand North Face?
I am.
Yes.
My sister bought me a North Face winter jacket 10 years ago.
Very lovely coats and vests they have. You can get the puffy ones.
Yeah.
They're very warm.
Yes. Expensive, too.
Well, North Face is asking Bud Light to hold its beer and telling Target to watch this.
Oh, man.
The outdoor clothing company isn't letting the extreme backlash against both chains stop them from rolling out their annual Pride Month commercial, which once again features drag queen Wynn Wiley, known professionally as Patagonia.
Patagonia.
In fact,
that's also a brand, isn't it?
Yeah.
In fact, not only is North Face not deterred by the pretty universal vitriol against Bud Light right now, they appear to be doubling down. This is the company's newest ad, where Gonia burst onto the screen in a rainbow dress and declares himself a real-life homosexual before inviting everyone to come out this summer.
Come out this summer.
Not sure what this has to do with selling jackets, but you do you, North Face. Here we go.
Hi, it's me, Patagonia, a real-life homosexual. And today I'm here with the North Face. We are here to invite you to come out in nature with us. Wow, this is nice. We like to call this little tour the Summer of Pride. This tour has everything. Hiking, community, art, lesbians making art. Last year, we gay saw shade across the nation and celebrated Pride across the nation with hundreds of you across the nation. This year, we're back again with 2 new stops. Atlanta, GA. Why? Because you're there. In Salt Lake City, we're coming for you.
Patty, can we go?
Of course! This year, all these fabulous speakers will be coming from inside this TV to a nature near you. So come outside and celebrate the beautiful LGHGTV community.
All right, a couple of things here. Number one, interesting time of the year to sell winter apparel as the weather's heating up. Number two, Salt Lake City, I would imagine big Mormon community in Utah, certainly in general. So that's an interesting market to try to cater to your needs and lifestyle. And here's what I don't get.
Yeah.
I'm a real life homosexual as opposed to like a fake life. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Wait, can you just isolate Nick Cale sing I'm a real life?
I am Nick Cale. I'm a real life homosexual.
And I support.
Yeah.
No, it's like, again, I don't think anybody has a problem with you being a homosexual. Well, I mean, there's a select few out there, but most people do not.
Okay.
But what's a lot of gay people don't act like that. So again,
most
it's like
don't. Come on,
Yeah.
look at the picture. Look at describe this.
Right.
Describe this is a man with a mustache who's a ginger.
Yeah.
So great hair, a great wig or hair if that's the real
What you're
hair.
going for, yeah.
And very big eyelashes and pink lipstick.
Looks
with
like
a mustache.
like a Twisted Sister video.
Yeah. And then the rainbow headband with that long red hair and long fingernails, but it's a trans biological male, I guess.
Right.
So of all the gay people that you know, I don't know anybody who's look, I know many people who are saying this person does not represent the gay community or gay guys or you know what I mean?
Right.
And so I just think, I don't know. To me, this is, and then they're advertising the rainbow outfits for little kids. It's the whole Target thing again.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, they're not tucking anything, thank God, but I don't know.
Daniel Valdez says, kind of a dig at Dylan Mulvaney for playing a character.
Jump on the mic because
That's a good point.
I find that interesting. is this like a revenge thing to what Dylan Mulvaney was saying? Is that why he started with a real life homosexual?
Well, that's what I would say. I mean, if you say real life and if you look at Dylan, he's kind of just playing a character. Where if you can look at the commercial, it's kind of like, yeah, I'm also gay, but I'm also drag queen, but I'm real homosexual.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Whatever. That's way too inside. I mean, the average person's just looking at that going, what?
Yeah.
And gay groups, especially gay men, have come out against all this stuff.
Right.
Because they're like, yo, we just want to work and live and be.
Right.
Like, this is not representative of us, and we don't want little kids dressing up in a onesie with a tuck-it thing. Like, I think that I don't know.
Wait till Riley Gaines gets a load of this video.
Oh, boy.
And here's the thing at the end of the day is these companies have come to the realization in their train of thought that their CEI score and their ESG score and those ratings matter more to them than losing some profit. Until it gets to the threshold and the pain tolerance of losing so much of your market share that you hit the Bud Light world. And when you get to the Bud Light level, you're like, whoa, okay, all of a sudden stocks and market shares and bonuses. Yeah, okay, we got to pivot away. Target's already doing it. Target took some stuff off of their racks.
Claiming it was dangerous for the workers.
Right.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, because everybody's under attack. You know, I just love you go outside and you see the trans community and they're all getting pummeled in the streets. Stop with the under the attack stuff.
And just the way that the way that he moves his hands, sort of Vanna White-ish, the way that he is walking, and it's all, and he's talking about nature. There's nothing in nature that looks like this.
Can't these companies just sell whatever tchotchkes they're? What are we doing?
No, because they value that score. That the biggest lobbyist group in the country is the LGBTQ. I think it's called HRC, Human Rights, something with a C. And if your business is not high up on, I gave you the criteria and the breakdown of how you earn the points and what you qualify for.
Yeah.
And they view that like social credit score to be the be all end all, which is an amazing concept because number one, you're placating to a very small niche minority. Number two, odds are they probably don't consume your product. Now, maybe North Face, I don't know, but Bud Light, certainly not. And then you never end up really getting them as a customer, but you lose a good portion of the customers you do have.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a business strategy if you want to shoot yourself right in the foot.
Yeah, I'm not sure what these companies are trying to do, what they're going for.
They're pandering.
It is, and they're not. As a marketing person, your job is to market your product.
Yes.
And make it accessible and make more people see it.
And nobody's calling out the companies that just stay out of it and just do their thing. Like, let's just say a company, I don't know, we'll say Walmart. Okay, just for example. I haven't seen any trans ads for Walmart. Like, nobody's banging down the door, hey, Walmart, how come you haven't jumped in yet? So why do you jump in at all?
Yeah.
It's like, what's the old adage? Just stay in your lane. Do what you do best. This is like a pizza shop. All of a sudden saying, you know what? 94% of our sales are pizza. But you know what? The hell with that. Let's just go straight for antipastas and salads moving forward. And that accounts for 6% of our revenue. And you just all of a sudden say, you know what? I'm done dealing with the pizza. It would make no sense. You would be out of business.
So this drag queen artist, if you look at his page, and then so he's in this fabulous red wig or whatever, but he's a guy. So what he's saying, he's a gay guy who by day has the short hair and the mustache and whatever, but he is a performer.
Oh.
Dressing up as this redheaded woman, and he's also an environmentalist, and he's for building a more diverse outdoors.
Oh. Well, I'm also a performer. I actually have hair off the air, but I go bald for the show.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Can we get a red wig like this for Nick Kayal?
Well, it's funny because, like, I think 80% of the morning hosts on this radio station in the last 20 years have been bald. So you've fit right in. That's why I said 80%, Dawn.
Well, no, I was going to say bald in other places too, because you've been talking about.
Oh, where are you going here, Dawn?
I'll tell you. So 24 hours ago, Greg Stocker was saying like he's in a competition with the other overlords. And so I'm warning you for your meeting next Thursday. I don't know what the numbers are, but I think they played quite a stunt when you talk about hair. So they actually had a waxing with John, one of the hosts. They waxed his nipples live on the air.
I've heard.
Yeah.
And so you were talking about hairless. So that's what made me think. And they used, Joseph Anthony Retreat Spa Salon, one of our regular sponsors.
Yeah.
They were waxing him. So I'm thinking, you were talking about hair and hairless. So could we wax Nick Kayal live on the air?
Well, I don't want to.
In the name of.
We don't need to resort to radio stunts. This is in 1995.
Oh my God!
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm all lasered. So how about Anthony Dorenzo?
We just do things like eating the Impossible Whopper.
Let's go to gas stoves, shall we?
We have to?
Last night or yesterday, the House Oversight Committee hearing on the Biden administration's assault on gas stoves. Representative Cori Bush from the Squad said this about gas stoves.
As we have heard over and over again, this is not a ban on gas stoves. This is not a ban on gas stoves. This is not a ban on gas stoves.
Is not a
we would
ban
love to
on
see
gas
actual
stoves.
action that saves
We are
lives, but we
regulating
continue to see
indoor
from our
air
Republican
pollution.
colleagues actions that loosen regulations. That make it easier for humans to lose their lives, make it easier for humans to become ill. Gas stoves have an enormous impact, a negative impact on the climate and on humans' health. We've said it over and over again,
So do
including
dishwashers.
contributing to childhood asthma, and that's a big deal. Respiratory illnesses are a big deal.
Well, we
Energy
know.
efficiency standards benefit American consumers by lowering the risks that are associated with gas stoves and saving them money on their utility bills. The Department of Energy's proposed rule on energy efficiency for consumer cooking products is part of the normal course of business, and it is required actually by law. The proposed rule is also part of an effort to catch up on the long overdue updates to energy efficiency, those standards that fell to the wayside during the Trump administration. The proposed rule also has the support of consumer protection organizations such as Consumer Federation of America and the National Consumer Law Center.
There we go.
Now keep reading your script. Number one, you ever notice how they love to talk about these respiratory illnesses? They loved COVID. They were afraid of COVID. They're afraid of the dishwasher is going to get banned. The gas stove is going to get banned. What about banning cigarettes? Cigarettes lead to respiratory disease, right? You end up with lung cancer or emphysema. You're always coughing and hacking up your lungs. And here's my biggest takeaway with all of these climate change loons. Why is it that the left sees something that is such a small, minuscule percentage, like the likelihood of dying from, they pivot to fear. If there's a 0.0001% chance of anything happening to you from any product or anything that's going on in society, they immediately sound the alarm. It is staggering to me. Yet they have no ability to control crime. They're more worried about the climate impact from your gas stove than they are people shooting people in the streets. It's a really selective science that they pick and choose what to be concerned with. Cori Bush, number 3 on the squad power rankings, by the way. I might do a squad power ranking list one day.
I would love that.
AOC
That's
clearly
awesome.
number 1. But Cori Bush not far behind.
You know, what's funny is that we've heard over the last couple of months that when we started discussing this, they're like, no, it's this is a conspiracy theory. Nobody's coming for your gas stoves. Nobody's coming for your gas stoves. She's basically saying, we're coming for your gas stove. We're just not calling it that we're coming for your gas stove. We're calling it something else.
Everything.
Yes.
They want to take away your stove, your dishwasher, your gun, your gas-powered car, your gas-powered lawnmower. They want Dawn to use an electric lawnmower in her yard as she's cooking dinner while she's waiting for Twitter Spaces.
Or whatever she's lasering herself with.
Exactly.
This is, I apologize if you're watching on YouTube. I played the wrong cut there. This is actually cut 3 that I'm going to play right now, where she says, it's not a gas stove ban, it's just regulating indoor air pollution.
Oh, yeah.
Got it?
We'll dress it up.
This proposed rule is not a ban on gas stoves. This proposed rule is not a ban on gas stoves.
Is she Kamala
We are
Harris?
regulating indoor air pollution.
You're unburdened by the gas stove.
See, it's just a regulation.
Right.
It's just we're helping the environment.
Yeah, it's like that old song by Warren G, Regulators. Remember that one back in the 90s? Clown.
Where do you pull these things from?
I don't know. It's the Bruno in me, I guess.
She also says that there's a number of her constituents that are unknowingly being poisoned by their gas stoves.
Unburdened by the past.
This is cut 5.
I can only imagine the number of my constituents who are unknowingly being poisoned by their gas stove in the state that it is without this proposed rule being in effect, especially young children, our elders, and people with disabilities who are disproportionately at risk for contracting respiratory illnesses. Let's not forget that many of these gas stoves are not owned by the residents of those homes, but often absentee or corporate landlords. That is a thing. We have a number of housing regulations in place to ensure that renters are kept safe. This also applies when we speak about keeping renters safe to the indoor air pollution, how that should be a top concern. This proposed rule is not a ban on gas stoves.
Gotcha.
Research proves that improving the energy efficiency of gas stoves and switching to electric stoves completely will save lives, will save money, and will save our environment.
There we go.
So let me just pick a couple of key buzzwords that she used there. She says poisoned, especially young kids. The youth of today are being poisoned. The youths of today are being poisoned, not by fentanyl, but by the gas stove. Boy, if I was in that and I got a chance to. All right, so you say poisoned and the youth. What about getting tougher on the border and cracking down on our fentanyl crisis as kids are dying from real poison at a much more alarming rate? But you go ahead with your gas stove, girl. Go ahead. All right, that'll do it for what is on the cut sheet, part 2 here. Part 1.
That was part 1.
Part 1, yeah.
You're an hour ahead.
I'm a little thrown off. I thought we had at least another 12 minutes of the cut sheet. We're wrapping up early today. How about that? 8:27. Let's get to Dawn Stensland's Big 3 at 8.
It's the Big 3 at 8 on Kayal Company.
Big 3 at 8. Today, we expect that the newer school superintendent in Philadelphia is expected to unleash and reveal his 5-year plan for Philadelphia schools, including whether or not we'll see the schools go year-round, something that mayoral hopeful Sherelle Parker has said she would love to do. So how will that go over with parents? Student safety is another issue, academic achievement, and yes, possible year-round schooling, some of the topics that are being taken up by Tony Watlington. That'll be later today. The board votes on the plan on June 1st, and if implemented, it would actually launch as early as July 1st. So would we see this implementation prior to a new mayor coming in? That's one of the questions. So we will follow that very carefully. And yes, we saw Ron DeSantis, we have to say last night in our Big 3, this is one of the Big 3 we're talking about, and Donald Trump taking digs at DeSantis. But Ron DeSantis last night talking about Trump's dodging of the Vietnam draft, saying he was prepared to withstand insults to protect America as others had done more to serve their country.
Wow.
So the digs are getting deeper.
Yeah.
As it's going to be ugly.
Well, strategically, I think it's smart for DeSantis to play up the veteran thing, play to that crowd.
Well, it's all about the strategy. So speaking of, we go from the digs in the presidential race for 2024 to the dodging and ducking. Apparently, that's something that should be included in the training for SEPTA bus drivers. Why? Because an unbelievable story coming from Philadelphia police as they describe a 52-year-old SEPTA driver who had to duck when she heard the noise and the gunfire that erupted on a SEPTA bus. Yes, it's true. Last night, so she is alive thanks to the fact that she implemented some quick thinking here and ducked just as a bullet whizzed over her head and pierced the windshield as gunfire erupted aboard a SEPTA bus, killing one. And that perpetrator, that gunman, got away because he was wearing his medical COVID mask, aboard the bus.
Well, at least he's trying to flatten the curve. He's trying to flatten human beings as he kills COVID.
It doesn't protect you from COVID, but it does stop you from.
That's correct.
being
now that COVID's over and even the Biden administration has said so, effective May 15th, right?
Yeah.
Why don't we just put in a new rule, especially in cities that are dealing with crimes where people are committing them with a mask on, that if you are seen in public with a mask, you will be committing a crime. And you will either be fined or arrested for wearing a mask.
Yeah, if I'm a SEPTA bus driver and somebody gets on the bus with a mask, what do you do? Should we give them bulletproof gear?
Don't ask questions, Dawn. You're offending them.
I know, sorry.
They could be high risk.
Well, on this Thursday, one of the busiest travel days that we've seen in many years, that's what's expected. We are sponsored by NTAG Philadelphia, as our Phils are victorious as of last night in the 10th inning. What an exciting evening for Trey Turner, especially, of our Philadelphia Phillies. With more than 150 professions to choose from, a career in the Navy can set you up for a lifetime of success. Earn up to $115,000 by joining today. Call 443-681-9800. So it's 443-681-9880, or you can just visit Navy.com. So NTAG Philadelphia, Navy.com. Thank you for sponsoring our Big Three.
Dawn with the news. Thank you very much, Dawn. 855-839-1210, the phone number. Still ahead this morning, a trio of Trump stories on the legal front. But when we come back, the Dodgers, the Los Angeles Dodgers, bend the knee to one community while completely disrespecting Catholics and Christians. We'll get to that story and the fallout on the other side. Kayal Company.
At Simply Safe, we design award-winning security to protect every inch of your home. It's easy to set up yourself, and now there's an even easier option. Have an expert do it for you with Simply Safe Pro Install. Always protecting, never a contract. 2 easy installation options, backed by 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. Get 20% off any new system with interactive monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Attention residents, be advised. The Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board has once again increased the price of wine and spirits. We are here to help. To avoid paying this increase, shop with Total Wine and More and save up to 40%. We will continue to offer the absolute lowest prices. Visit Total Wine and More, offering the lowest prices for over 30 years and counting. Drink responsibly, be 21.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Do you want a beautiful home that's easy to maintain? I've been telling you about a great company that does just that. John Gilgee is here to tell you in his own words. Take it away, my friend.
Hello, it's John from Rhino Shield, reminding you that spring is here and Rhino Shield is ready to help you paint your home for the last time. Our permanent exterior house paint is not ordinary paint. It's a ceramic house coating that goes on like paint and looks like paint, but is guaranteed for 25 years. If your home's exterior isn't looking as good as you'd like, Rhino Shield is the solution you've been looking for. It's affordable because you only have to paint one last time, and it protects your home with a durable and waterproof coating that goes on any exterior surface. Find out why so many of your neighbors are choosing the permanent paint solution from Rhino Shield by calling to schedule your free estimate today at 844-RHINO-99. That's 844-744-6699.
With NJ Diet, it only takes 40 days to shed a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds. Their program uses hair, saliva, and bioenergetic scans to personalize natural formulas and supplements where the side effect is weight loss. Then DNA info is used to help keep it off. No shots, no hormones, no prepackaged foods, and no surgery. NJDiet.com. NJDiet.com. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to...
Live life to the fullest. Yeah, you hear that all the time, but it's easier said than done when you're in pain. Hey, Dawn Stensland here. QC Kinetics really does give people all over our region back their quality of life by providing much-needed relief for chronic joint pain. Doing it in the most non-invasive way possible using regenerative treatments from your body's own natural biologics. QC Kinetics concentrates these impactful treatments right at the source of your pain, directly applying healing properties where you need them the most. No surgery, no downtime, no steroids or harmful drugs, and patients are raving about the results. What does living life to the fullest look like for you? Finally being able to play golf, walk your dog, enjoy time with your family, or just do your job without pain, whatever it is. Don't wait one more day. Call QC Kinetics for your complimentary consultation with locations around the Philadelphia region. 215-999-3000, 215-999-3000. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Hello, everybody.
Kayal Company, 8:35. I figured that was fitting. Coming off of our last story. Oh, goodness gracious. We got a lot to delve into. It's good to have all of you aboard as we work our way towards the Memorial Day holiday weekend, which is really interesting. And, Dawn, I know you sent something yesterday to the effect of traffic looking a little bit lighter. It was incredibly light again this morning, even lighter than it was.
Yeah.
Which I think lends more credence to the theory I've been saying for the last 5-6 years now, that with holidays approaching now more than ever, it seems like in the last half decade, maybe even a decade, people just say, okay, well, if we're off on Monday, I'm going to take Friday. So then let me try to weasel out even earlier on Thursday, or maybe I'll just, like, we now extend every break and holiday into, like, sabbaticals.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable.
Sabbatical.
And it goes in line with the whole, hey, return to the office for work thing, and I don't want to, I can do it from home. I just don't think people enjoy working or don't want to work anymore. It's a fascinating thing because, Thanksgiving, well, I'm going to take off Wednesday, and then it became Tuesday, and now I'm out the Friday before Black Friday and not back until the following Tuesday after. I don't know where I might need to rework my deal. Like I feel like every human being now walks around with 6 weeks of vacation.
Yeah, I think some people, I will say, have perfected it where they feel like, hey, I'm more efficient, and instead of having to spend aggravating time commuting, I can discipline myself, work from home, and utilize those hours. So I think there are those individuals, but I think I would love to know from so many companies what they feel about with the Zoom working and the working from home. Depending on the job, I do think, to your point, there are a lot of people who just take advantage of it, and so it sort of supersizes a lack of productivity.
Well, we also have, this mental health crisis in this country. So people feel, I think, more inclined for mental recharge days. And, I don't know if companies are adding in, mental health days to like the standard 2-week vacation you get when you get employed full time and your benefits go into effect. And it's, hey, you get 10 vacation days, 5 sick days, 2 personal days, and we'll throw in, maybe a few mental health days. I've seen this in sports, too. Now, all of a sudden, like in basketball, because it's a long season, there's maintenance days where players just randomly take a day off for playing from a game because it's called a maintenance day. And then I've heard from some family members that go on vacation in the summer, and they say, yeah, I'm coming back from vacation. I'll be back on Tuesday. I've been gone for 10 days. but I'm not going back to work until Thursday because I need a day or so to decompress from the vacation. Like, what? You were just on vacation. You need to take a vacation day to recharge from the vacation itself? It's just, I don't know. I just feel like, and I'm one of these guys, especially when I'm doing a full-time radio show, I dread taking days off. I don't want to take any days off. Like, I'll take Black Friday or Christmas Eve or whatever when it falls on a weekday. But, like, you know, I want to be at work. I don't know. Maybe we're in a select minority where we kind of really
like our jobs.
Love what we do. But I also feel like compelled to be there for my audience and not miss a day where there's 3, 4, 7 different really important stories that I feel compelled to deliver to my audience and also opine about. I don't know. I just feel like, you know, nowadays more than ever, it's just like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, take this week off. Cut out of work here at 2:15.
Yeah. I mean, to your point, there's that old saying, phone it in.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Phone it in, mail
phone
it in,
mail
text
it in. And so nowadays, it's zoom it in.
Yeah, zoom it in.
And how will we navigate through that? Because, you know, and we saw with, you know, some pretty powerful unions during the pandemic, the union leadership did everything they could to zoom or to, you know, to shut things down and control things for a multitude of reasons.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I just think we have to be on the same page with that, because our productivity in America is not there's no question that our productivity in America is not what it was pre-pandemic. And a piece of this is that people decided, oh, well, the government's basically going to pay me and up my benefits. Why should I break my back?
Yeah, it's this entitlement. It's this victimhood mindset of, oh, it's too rough and I should be handed this instead of earning it. And I'm a victim. I should be compensated. Give me pay for this that I don't deserve. We've created a lot of that within the last 3 years. There's no doubt. The other thing that has been created and driven really by the left is this attack against Christianity, specifically Catholics. And, you know, we've talked a lot, and, you know, sometimes it's serious. Sometimes I say it in a joking fashion. You're basically, you're guilty of being nothing more than a straight white cis male, right? So now the trans and drag community is putting pressure on the Los Angeles Dodgers. And the Dodgers, I believe, initially had declined to permit this drag community hero event to take place at Dodger Stadium. So the Los Angeles chapter of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence is a group that barely had a presence before it was announced that the group would be awarded a Community Hero Award during a June 16th Pride Night game at Dodger Stadium. So initially they were going to do this, and then the Dodgers backed out of it, and then they kind of did a double take and permitted this to happen. So if you've seen the video circulating social media, this group of drag/trans, you know, that community outside of the stadium are putting on a performance where they have some guy, you know, up on the cross, you know, like Jesus, and they're mocking Catholics, they're mocking Christians, and they're dancing all over this guy as he's, I mean, like, you know, he's basically crucified. He's on the cross, right? And I can't imagine in my life that the Dodgers, we've reached a point now where the Los Angeles Dodgers are okay with mocking Christians and Catholics at the expense of appeasing a drag or trans community. And if you ask yourself this question, would the Dodgers allow this to happen to the Muslim community or any other religion, any other faith, any other denomination? You know the answer. The answer is no. Yeah. But for some reason, and I'm a religious person, but I don't advertise it. I don't wear it on my chest. You know, I'm a Catholic, I'm a born-again Christian, the whole bit, but I make plenty of mistakes. So I don't try to do the I'm holier and righteous than anybody other thing. But imagine a trans or a drag show that mocked any other religion. But, you know, as we've been saying, for some reason in this left-wing, hey, we need to make good for the past transgressions of hate and discrimination, we now permit it in the direction of Christians or white people or Catholics, which is the specific case with this story here, to be mocked. And I think goes back to what I said about social credit scores, CEI, ESG, businesses telling you that they value this and appeasing to a small niche community compared to the masses. They want to placate to the fringe. And do you think by the Dodgers allowing this to happen, all of a sudden on a Wednesday night in July, and I don't know what Dodger Stadium holds, 40-some thousand people, you think 5,000 people from the drag or trans community are going to show up to buy Dodgers tickets, eat hot dogs, and drink beer and say, hey, remember what you did back in June? Yeah, now we're Dodger fans, baby. Let's go, Clayton Kershaw. Yeah. I don't understand why you would allow that. How can you permit the disrespecting of an entire religious community? Any community, really. But in this case, a large one. You know how many Catholics are in the United States? Christianity, the predominant religion? You think they would allow that for Muslims? My God, it'd be World War III. Come on.
But think about what you're saying, and even in this broadcast, when you talk about, in particular, this fringe group, representing a tiny percentage of individuals, what's the war here? And so why would they attack Christianity? Why would they attack Catholicism? Go back to Genesis. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. That's what this is all about. To me, this is not just some fun little thing or telling kids, hey, you can be what you want to be. It goes to the heart of an issue. And it's attacking faith. It's attacking family. And then go back to all the sound that you played yesterday, I think, Nick, or day before, where you had different individuals, Biden and KJP, saying these are our children.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's all about the government controlling, and at the same time, government controlling your kids and indoctrinating them, but at the same time trying to take away and separate family, Christianity, all that, and all of those values.
Well, even if you're not religious at all, let's say you have no affiliation to any religion, but it's just you, your wife, and your son or your daughter. You're walking down the sidewalk to go to the Dodger game, right? Mm-hmm. You just want to go to a baseball game, baseball, apple pie, Chevrolet, the American dream, the whole bit. You've heard that slogan before. And you just walk, but you're obviously aware of the cross, right? I mean, who isn't? And you walk by that, and that's being permitted by the organization as part of your experience going to Dodger Stadium. Could you imagine? Let's localize it. Imagine you're going to Citizens Bank Park. You don't care one way or the other about religion. Maybe you're a believer, but you don't go to church, or you're not a believer, or you have no opinion whatsoever. Mm-hmm. And you're rolling into Citizens Bank Park, and you see that in Section F of the parking lot. And you get wind of it as you get into the stadium. Oh, yeah, no, the Phillies allowed it. You didn't read that in the Philadelphia Inquirer today? Would you be, taken back by it? I think most people would.
I would leave. I would boycott. I would boycott at that point, because think about why people came to this country in the first place. One of the biggest reasons people came to this nation in the first place was religious persecution.
Yeah.
And this is a form ultimately of religious persecution. If it's a cross, yes, I would be very upset by that. I can't even believe they tolerated that. But even if they put something up in the Globotron thing and they were making fun of anybody's faith, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's Judaism or somebody who's Muslim or anybody's faith, that's terror. It's a sin, I almost said, but it's terrible.
Well,
I can't imagine that.
Jeremy says the same thing on Twitter. He says, thank you for shedding a conservative light on the LA Dodgers thing. As a fairly devout Catholic, I am very offended by the antics of the trans nuns people. They are doing it specifically to attack Christians. I would never go to a Dodgers game, even if they gave me a luxury box for free. And
agreed.
Let me just boil it to a simple thing. So if you are a group of people or a community or just one individual, and you felt like you've been excluded for a long time, you haven't been accepted because of the way you look or what you believe or what you practice, which I believe is wrong. I think we should accept everybody. Do you think going about it this way is going to win anybody over? I would say the answer is absolutely not. let's just say you had no opinion on the trans community. You're like, yeah, whatever, man, do your thing, live your life. Do you think seeing that is going to make the people that are of no opinion or not interested in your approach to life more accepting, more inclusive, more tolerant? You know, we hear about diversity, equity, and inclusion. Do you think you're going to be more included in things moving forward when you act like this? I don't see how you win anybody over that way. That's like joining a party, not a political party, but you go, hey, I finally got invited to the party at the cool party at high school. They used to think I was a dork and a dweeb. And then you go there and you don't do anything to endear yourself to the group that you've been seeking acceptance for. That's kind of a bad strategy, I would think.
But I think the strategy overall is not inclusivity. It's to normalize all of this and to make many people, good people, feel like, hey, this is about inclusivity and we're just trying to be kind and go against the bullies. And so kind, hearted people think, oh, well, this is the right thing to do. But the underlying motivation, in my opinion, is actually about control, government control, breaking up the family and breaking up and undermining people's faith-based values.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a great point.
It's disgusting.
And look, I mean, let's just say that happened with the Phillies. I wouldn't cancel the Phillies. I wouldn't stop. I wouldn't, I don't go to games anyway, but I wouldn't, if I had
the Phillies would never do that.
I know. I'm just saying. But from a rooting interest, I'd still root for them. I'd still watch them.
But they would never do that.
I'd still go.
Stop, Homer. Phillies would never do that.
They wouldn't. Okay. Not this family, not this team. They wouldn't.
It's just, I don't understand the end game. So if this is, if you want to grow your belief, which I'm all for you doing, go right ahead. I've got no issue with the trans community. I don't think this wins anybody over that was on the fence or maybe adamantly opposed to you. Do you think any of the haters out there are going to be won over? This is no different than a politician trying to win over a certain portion of a base. If you bash that base, they're never going to vote for you. So I just, it really falls in line with a lot of the corporations and the businesses, whether it's, Bud Light, Target, Walmart, North Face, you go on down the list. And let's be honest, Dodgers are a big business. In Los Angeles, they don't really care about football. They like the basketball team of the Lakers. They love the Dodgers. And they like USC when USC is relevant. Dodger baseball is, right there with the Lakers as far as the backbone of culture and entertainment and sports, obviously, in LA. And you do this and it's like, and then also keep in mind, there's a lot of people in the Latino community that are Christians, that are devout Christians, perhaps even Catholic, that are conservative, that, oh, by the way, Los Angeles has a big Latino community, and a lot of those people like baseball. Baseball is very big in Latin countries. You think that sits well with the Latin community when they're going to a game and they see their religion being shredded like that? Probably not, but.
I agree with John Doe by choice. Says it's about destroying God and making government God. They cannot control people who have God-given rights.
Yeah.
And I think if you have a strong faith and you have a strong family, it's much tougher to undermine that. But if you're reliant on government, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're reliant on that government, then you need the government. And now whatever they say, you're going to do because they are your provider.
Yeah. 855-839-1210, the number. And then I did say the education department warning against schools encouraging private prayer or other religious activity. This coming out just a few days ago. The Biden administration this week updated its guidance. I love this. We've updated our guidance on prayer and other religious expression in public schools, warning school employees not to encourage or endorse such activity. Quote, teachers, school administrators, and other school employees may not encourage or discourage private prayer or other religious activity. The Education Department writes in its new guidance, which adds that the U.S. Constitution permits school employees to engage in prayer and private prayer during the workday. However, the Education Department warns school employees can't, quote, compel, coerce, persuade, or encourage students to join in the employee's prayer or other religious activity. The guidance goes on to say that schools may take, quote, reasonable measures to ensure that students aren't pressured or encouraged to join in the private prayers of their teachers or their coaches. I thought that was interesting there at the end with the coaches, because this kind of, reignites some of the thoughts I have in the conversations we've had. How many times have we had those stories, especially in the fall, where we were talking about like football coaches that were doing the team prayer at the end of the game, where sometimes both teams get together and, maybe it's 15 players from team A and 12 players from team B and a bunch of coaches, and they get on a knee at the 50-yard line, midfield, and they do the post-game prayer. And we've seen people be triggered by that and offended by that. And, what's remarkable to me, and just to put a bow on this, is all the things that we used to do that just seemed like routine, innocuous activity, all of a sudden became offensive to the left in the last 4 or 5 years. Hey, showing respect and saluting police, tip of your cap to a veteran, saying a prayer, standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, just the normal stuff that is, Americana, right? Like grateful for, our fallen heroes, our law enforcement people, God and religion and the whole thing. And now it's like and really what I feel like it's an attack against all the institutions that is kind of what made America what it is. And it's like this, there's some way in which they are methodically trying to kind of take apart the seams, the fabric of, like all of our institutions in this radical sweeping agenda. So, if you have thoughts on that, 855-839-1210. I just thought that was interesting with the Dodgers for sure, because now more than ever, I'm looking forward to the Phillies heading out to Los Angeles and getting a sweep. How about that?
We hope.
I don't even want 2 out of 3. I want all 3 games against the Dodgers. 855-839-1210, the phone number. We'll come back. Donald Trump in the news. His legal team seeking a meeting with Merrick Garland. Also, the Atlanta, Georgia case. We might have an indictment at a very interesting point in the calendar. I wonder if there's an agenda with that. We'll get to that story. And also, what the judge has told Donald Trump and what he can and cannot say in regards to his trial that is set to start in March of next year. All 3 of those Trump stories coming up next.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Father's Day is right around the corner. And listen, as a dad, I can tell you this. We don't want ties. We don't want sweaters. We want steaks. That's right. Delicious steaks from Omaha Steaks. I get this for my dad every year, and he loves it. And right now, when you use my name, Zioli, at checkout, you're going to get $30 apple tartlets. So just go to omahasteaks.com, use code Zioli at checkout, and get $30 off an unforgettable gift that is guaranteed to make Dad's day. Because if there's one thing we know, it's that dads want steak. omahasteaks.com, promo code Zioli at checkout. Minimum order is required. See site for details.
Wells Fargo gives you access to direct deposit funds up to 2 days early.
Plus, if you look at the X and Y axes...
What if everything came 2 days early? Like the weekend.
Well, that was a pleasant surprise.
You can't get everything early, but when it comes to direct deposits, you can with Wells Fargo.
Visit wellsfargo.com/get-early to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Not all direct deposits are eligible. Early availability is not guaranteed and may vary between deposits from the same payer. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, Costco members have a $2,500 incentive on the purchase or lease of an electric Volvo. There is a $1,000 incentive on all gas and hybrid 2023 models. Explore this safe and versatile 2023 XC90 and take advantage of special financing, a rate of under 5%. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo for a full list of extraordinary offers for both new and previously owned Cherry Hill Volvos. Visit us now. We have the inventory and we have competitive offers.
Hey, you got to live life to the fullest. I mean, we hear that all the time, but it is easier said than done, especially when you're suffering in pain. So QC Kinetics really does give people all across the Philadelphia region back their quality of life. Why? By providing much needed relief for chronic joint pain. And not just providing that relief, but here's the thing. QC Kinetics does this in the most non-invasive way possible, using regenerative treatments from your body's own natural biologics. So where's your joint pain? Maybe in your back, your shoulders, your hips, your knees. QC Kinetics concentrates these impactful treatments right at the source of your pain, directly applying your healing properties, again, from your own body, right where you need them the most. No surgery, no downtime, no steroids, and no harmful drugs either. Patients are raving about the results, really loving the way they feel. So what does living life to the fullest look like for you? Maybe going down the shore this weekend, running on the beach, little football on the beach? How does that sound? Or just walking the dog, or just doing your job without suffering in pain. Whatever it is, don't wait one more day. Just call QC Kinetics. You get a complimentary consultation. It's free. Locations across the Philadelphia region, 215-999-3000, 215-999-3000. QC Kinetics, just call them. Tell them Dawn sent you, 215-999-3000.
Dawn Stensland this morning at 10. Kayal Company now on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
Kayal Company 901. It's a Thursday morning. Great to have you guys aboard. 855-839-1210, the phone number. Twitter and Instagram at 1210WPHT. On YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT. Subscribe, hit the like button. Join the Kayal and Company comment community as we work our way towards the holiday weekend, and Greg Stocker's working his way towards 4,000 subscribers. Because a week from today, Stocker wants to roll into the brand manager meeting, throw down the gauntlet, and say, hey, sports station, show me what you got.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be tough. We need a waxing.
If you guys really want to see it done, I will do it.
We need some sort of...
Not sure if the audience wants it, but...
Well, no, we can't look like we're copying another show.
Okay.
We do need some sort of visual aspect that will get people to want to watch a radio show.
Okay.
So what are you thinking?
I don't know. Hire a couple of hot chicks.
I mean, we have Dawn.
Well, yeah. But she's already here. Oh, we already have her on cam.
Like bikini women dancing behind you.
Yeah.
As you speak.
Right.
Or hot guys and hot chicks. To do like the whole hot thing.
Yeah, we could be very inclusive. Got to appeal to our female audience as well.
Cabana boys. Cabana boys and cabana girls.
I like it. I look.
Kayal's Cabana Boys.
YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. Hit the subscribe button, please. Help us get to 4,000 subscribers. Please.
Yes, please do it. Please. Do it. All right, we got a
Did
lot
I say
coming
please?
up. Yes, you did.
Did I say please?
Uh-huh. You did. Morning Mystery Movie Clip coming up at 9:20.
Please.
And we've also got What's on the Cut Sheet Part 2, What's on Tap for the Dawn Show, and Who on Twitter Today. Handful of stories to get to with Donald Trump. And, we'll get back to a little bit of the DeSantis stuff before we get out of here this morning. Obviously, that's the big story of the day, but lost in the shuffle last night. And it's not often that Trump, from a news standpoint, can be lost in the shuffle. But there was a couple of things that came down. And I think, first and foremost, the one that stands out the most to me of the three is the prosecutor in the Atlanta case, the Georgia case with Trump, suggests that any indictments in Trump election investigation would likely come in August. And what's coming up in August if you're a Republican? Oh, the first primary debate, right?
Yeah, I mean, he has a lot of court dates that could be coming up soon. I mean, we know the one on March, what is it, 25th?
Yep.
Which, Super Tuesday, Dawn, what is that? That's like March 2nd. Like, it's the very beginning of March. So voting will have begun already, and Donald Trump will be in a courtroom.
Yes. And as I said yesterday, the three different ways they hacked at Trump was, number one, in 2016 with the media and Russia. 2020, it was via social media with the censoring of stories like Hunter Biden's laptop in the New York Post with Facebook. And then I said in 2023/2024, it's the court system. So the Associated Press with this story, the Atlanta prosecutor investigating whether then President Donald Trump and others broke the law while trying to overturn his 2020 election laws in Georgia, seems to be suggesting that any grand jury indictments in the case would likely come in August. Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis sent a letter Thursday to County Superior Court Chief Judge Ural Glanville indicating that she has plans to have much of her staff work remotely. And there we go back to working remotely again. For most days during the first 3 weeks of August, and asking that judges not schedule trials and in-person hearings during part of that time.
What do you think that means?
Clear the docket for Trump?
Yes.
Yeah. Thought that might have been a trick question for a second.
No.
Copied on the letter are 20 other county officials, including the sheriff, the county clerk, the court clerk, and top leaders. Quote, thank you for your consideration and assistance in keeping the Fulton County Judicial Complex safe during this time, Willis wrote in the letter. Willis last month wrote local law enforcement leaders advising them that she intended to announce charging decisions in the case between the dates of July 11th and September 1st. Nice little, what was that, about a 9-week stretch there, 8-week stretch?
Yeah.
Thursday's letter seems to narrow that window in which it would likely be in August. So I don't know that we have the official date of the first primary in August. If we do, if somebody would let me know that. But if you're going to, whether it's a couple of days, couple of weeks before it, or right after it, or right in and around it within a matter of a few days before or after, this just once again, and keep in mind that people have said, for what it's worth, you know, when we compared all the cases and how soft and weak the cases with Alvin Bragg, people said that the one that has the most, you know, credence would be this Atlanta one.
Yeah.
So they're going to try to throw this right at him as he's getting ready to debate, potentially, DeSantis, Ramaswamy, Haley, Scott, Christie, Pence, whoever else is in the race by then.
So the trial in March is about his business.
That's the Stormy Daniels hush money case.
No, this is,
Yeah.
I
think so.
Is it?
Wait, aren't you talking about the Georgia?
No.
Oh, wait,
you're talking about
There's
March
three
Who's
different
on
ones.
first?
Right. What's on second?
The March one, I believe, is about his business, isn't it?
No, March.
The Alan Weisselberg thing and all that nonsense.
I thought the March date that was just set that I reported yesterday, that was the Stormy Daniels
that's the Stormy
business
Daniels
stuff.
thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The New York judge has set a trial date of March 25th, 2024.
I can't keep them all straight.
I know. Right? Hopefully Joe Tacopina can.
Yeah, exactly.
What if he shows up into Atlanta and he's got his opening statement, but it's for New York in March? Oh, hold on.
Sorry, wrong one.
Hold on, Your
Sorry
Honor.
about that.
Wrong script.
Yeah.
This is cut sheet part 1.
And then, and he has to be present for this trial in March. So there's not going to be any cameras in the courtroom, but you know, the media is going to be outside that courtroom all day and all night.
I've got to imagine that it's going to be very similar to, you know, the arraignment where, you know, you're going to get your chance to see him coming into the building. Maybe you don't catch him going out of the building, but I believe for the arraignment, remember, there was no cameras, no video. It was just one photographer with, I believe it was 2 or 3 snapshot photos. And maybe was there an artist in the arraignment? I forget, but I believe there was like some sort of drawing of like a picture of Trump sitting there. But other than that, and I'm glad, because this does not need to turn into a live TV made for television spectacle.
Oh, it's going to, though.
Well, the media is going to try to make it that. but ultimately it's up to the judge, right? What he permits or she permits or doesn't allow in their courtroom. So I think of the three, between what Trump can or cannot say, which we'll get to in a second, the Atlanta one, the date is the one that just really jumps off the page at me, with it being August and debate season. But the judge in New York did say what Donald Trump cannot say about the hush money case with Stormy Daniels. So Trump's attorney said that the former president remains concerned that the order, basically this gag order, infringes on his First Amendment rights. Quote, he understands that he has to comply with the order, and if he doesn't do so, he's violating your order, his attorney said during the hearing. Merchan reiterated that there is not a gag order in place, and Trump can publicly defend himself against the allegations related to this case. Quote, it is certainly not my intention in any way to impede Mr. Trump's ability to campaign for president. He is free to defend himself against these charges. He is free to campaign. He is free to do just about anything that does not violate the specific terms of the protective order. So this, to me, I don't like this response from this judge, because I think while there are specifics that he has to avoid, I think this creates this thought, and at least it would for me, and maybe Trump just doesn't give a bleep, and that's what makes him great in many regards. I would be it would be like paralysis by analysis. Like I would be so caught up on what I can't delve into, and then worried about, getting emotional, getting fired up, and going on a tirade, and then it just slips out. And then I shoot myself in the foot, I violate the protective order, and then whatever repercussions come with the violation of that order, seriously impacting, my campaign, my ability to debate. And in all likelihood, I mean, there might be some people out there that view these charges, and if he ends up violating one of these, quote, orders, I don't know, that seriously could sway somebody or impact an election. Now, I'm of the belief that by and large, most people are already, in one camp or the other, have already made up their mind on Trump. But this is kind of the domino effect here, where everything's piling up against this guy.
Let's not forget, too, Jack Smith, the special counsel, and the Mar-a-Lago secret documents probe. So that's a lot of people are saying that has come to an end, too. So you have to watch out for what their findings are going to be. Mm-hmm. He could, it is crazy how quick this is all coming down, right as people are voting, trying to make their decisions. I don't know. And
it's not coincidence. Because if Trump was not running, are we talking about this? Are we hearing this? Are these things happening? Like, let's just say a year ago, Trump said, you know what? I'm 75. On further thought, I don't have the energy to go through it again. Let's just say he said that. Do you think we would be talking about Stormy Daniels, Alvin Bragg, Atlanta, E. Jean Carroll?
Yeah, that's why when everybody said that this is not political, they were wrong, because just by the very definition, it was political. Because the point that you just made is the correct one, that if he weren't running for president, these things would not be happening to him.
Right. Now, to say, I mean, maybe one of them, perhaps, maybe the E. Jean Carroll thing, but Alvin Bragg, I mean, now Alvin Bragg, and I'll just play devil's advocate, the counter argument is, well, he did run on that in his district attorney campaign. Well, we played you the interview from Hot 97 or whatever radio station was, where he said, no, one of my big things, and I'm paraphrasing here, is, we are going to pursue blah, blah, blah against Trump, and that obviously wins over some voters. So, maybe he does that to come through on his campaign promise to his constituents. But, I mean, you're starting to see them all pile up. And you got to wonder, because at the end of the day, he's a human being, right? Like, I mean, every human's got, an exhaustion tipping point and a breaking point. And I don't know that this will phase Trump, but I mean, it could wear on him. He might not publicly admit it, but I also think that this is one of the reasons why we've seen so many people jump into the race, because if this stuff continues and there is ultimately some action taken against Trump, that opens up the door for these other candidates. Like, you don't think for a second Vivek Ramaswamy thinks he can beat Trump. trying to get a spot in the cabinet. Nikki Haley, Tim Scott, perhaps cabinet or VP.
Vivek, I think, is doing it more to make a name for himself, because nobody had really heard of him.
I think Vivek really wants the 8 o'clock slot on Fox News. I think that's what he really cares about.
He's a New York Times best-selling author, but I think he's trying to get out there in the mainstream.
I think Haley and Tim Scott and all of them they look at this as the field being wide open. I really believe that. Why else would they get in?
Well, why would Christie get in? To be the Attorney General for DeSantis?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, his time was 12 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Christie knows he's never going to be president.
Right.
He knows that.
But you're saying you think some of these other people do?
No, I think a lot of them are doing it to get either cabinet positions or trying to, at this point, why not?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because there's so much uncertainty around Trump in some voters' minds, about all these criminal cases against him.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not do it?
Yeah.
And to be clear, I don't think that these cases are going to hurt him in the primary.
No.
The general is a completely different story.
I don't think he's ever going to be held or found. I think these are all a waste. Even Atlanta, which some legal people say is, well, if you're going to say any of them have some credibility, Atlanta being the one. But you talked about, and you mentioned some of these other candidates. I was watching The Five last night. Yes, I was watching The Five. How about that? And I thought Dana Perino made a great point, and I've got her quote here. She said, the other GOP candidates don't attack Trump. They come after Trump. So who do they perceive to be the biggest threat? I'm sorry, let me clean that up. The other GOP candidates don't attack Trump. They come after DeSantis. So who do they perceive to be the biggest threat? Now, I think that's an interesting observation because I'm of the belief that you don't attack people or go after people that aren't a threat to you, which is why I don't think Trump has said anything bad about Tim Scott. I don't think Trump's going to say anything bad about Vivek Ramaswamy. They're not threats. The only person conceivably that could beat Trump is DeSantis, and he's up 50 points on DeSantis. But all these other people, the fringe candidates that are going to get, single-digit percentage of the votes and the whole thing, they all go after DeSantis. So is it because they view DeSantis to be the threat? Not sure I necessarily agree with that. Or is it they don't go after Trump because they're afraid of the retaliation from Trump?
It's neither. They're all. The DeSantis spot is what they're all competing for. They're all competing for
to
that
be number two.
No. They're all competing for that vote that is not voting for Trump. So they see DeSantis as their bigger obstacle because he has, theoretically, because he's ahead of them in the polls, he has the votes that they want. Because they know they're never going to get the Trump people. Nikki Haley certainly isn't. Tim Scott might, a few. But the majority of them won't.
Yeah.
So I think that they view DeSantis as the bigger threat to the voter, the Republican voter that they want.
Yeah, that's a good point. 855-839-1210. Morning mystery movie clip coming up at 9:20. Let's get to better late than never. Dawn Stensland with the Big Three at 9.
It's the Big 3 at 9 on Kayal Company.
Big 3 at 9, sponsored by Hint Water. So busy travel day, but we'll give you the best times to travel by car, by air. AAA estimates the lightest traffic days, heads up, will be Saturday and Sunday. So today, right now, we are in the busiest period, and the busiest day will be tomorrow, 3 to 6 p.m. for today and tomorrow, I should say. So today, 3 to 6 p.m., and tomorrow, 3 to 6 p.m., you do not want to be on the roadways.
That's right.
AAA saying record travel. And then as well, we're looking at record travel, everybody coming home on Monday, whether it's by air or whether it's by vehicle.
Mayor Pete!
Let's talk about, for those headed down the Jersey Shore, a new beach ban of sorts down the shore. This was just voted in, an ordinance voted on last night. Wildwood prohibits the consumption, display, or possession of alcohol on the beach or on the boardwalk. Don't do it. Officials say zero tolerance policy, meaning no alcohol whatsoever, even if it's sealed up in a bag or a cooler, penalties up to a $2,000 fine and potentially 90 days in jail.
What if you put
Wildwood.
you mix a cocktail and you put it in one of your Yetis?
Can't do it.
Well, how are they going to know?
Red Solo cups are always what we used to use.
Those would be a dead giveaway.
They're saying even if it's sealed up in a bag, a cooler, a cup.
This is just Wildwood?
Wildwood.
Okay.
Well, there are other, obviously Ocean City.
Right.
But, and we do have some different bans with the clear backpacks and so on. That's aimed more at anybody under 18 in Sea Isle City.
So you could commit a violent felony and get no cash bail. But if you put Coors Light in a
In
Yeti,
Philadelphia.
90-day jail.
I would love to know. We should do a poll. Drinking on the beach, yes or no? Do you support it?
I do. Yeah.
Dawn?
The hell else are you going to do when you sit in the sand all day?
I know.
I'm going to set out a big cooler of whatever and get all liquored up and get in a fight and whatever. So, and this is the same for football and other sports. For the parents, a few will ruin it for the majority. So everybody, you got to be cool.
See, the angry drunk and the violent drunk ruins it for everybody.
Yes.
You got to be like me. When I get hammered, I get real lovey-dovey and mellow, and I'm like the sweetest human being alive.
We are. There's a poll. There's a poll right now on the YouTube, on our YouTube channel. Drinking on the beach, yes or no?
Okay.
So if you're watching right now, or if you want to go over to the YouTube channel at 1210 WPHT on YouTube, there's a poll going up right now. Vote on if drinking on the beach is okay. I don't think. I mean, what's the harm? Okay, so kids might party and be rowdy, but like I don't know.
Well, it further advances climate change.
Remember that you know what this is going to produce, though. We're going to have another summer where we have, like we had the Kensington Hottie being attacked, getting into it with the police, and in her swimsuit, her little swimsuit, her little self, calling out for her baby daddy, Matt. And then she ended up winning her civil lawsuit, but she still was charged. That's what it's going to happen.
Right now we're 90-10 yes. Drinking on the beach.
So, okay.
So at least the small sample size of our YouTube channel.
Well, all of us that believe in law and order and then break this rule, I guess we're all frauds, right?
It's true.
Because I love me some law and order, but you know what? If I can slip in some tequila in the Yeti on the beach, I'm going to do it.
But you go to like these Caribbean islands and stuff. We went to Aruba. Like they had waiters on the beach.
Of course.
that took your drink orders. I mean,
when we went
that's freedom, baby. Come on.
We went to Atlantis, and you're on the beach, and you've got those guys walking around trying to get you to go on the booze cruise. Hey man, you want to go on the booze cruise?
Yeah,
$35 all you can drink.
We need to like drinking. If you're over 21, drinking is legal. Like we need to stop with this. It's either legal or it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like this is a huge.
It is.
Problem. Wildwood. Okay.
And something
another reason not to go to the Jersey Shore. I'm sorry.
No,
you leave the Jersey Shore bashing to this guy.
No, I love the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, I might go down this year.
So something I didn't bring up yesterday, and I apologize, was that this week, and I should have reported this yesterday. If you have a Netflix account and you're sharing your password, Netflix cracking down, saying don't share your password with your roommate. If you're a parent and you have adult kids, it has to be within your household. So they're cracking down, charging more. Netflix.
I've seen people so outraged by this whole Netflix sharing thing. This is such a big nothing burger. I mean, look, I don't use Netflix a ton, so maybe I don't have the right perspective of this. But if you share it and you use it and they're cracking down on it, is it the end of the world? Can you not afford to get your own Netflix account for $7 a month? If you can afford a blue check mark on Twitter, can't you afford a Netflix account? Like, why is this so complicated? Oh, I can't share it with Johnny. Oh, well then, instead of buying a pack of cigarettes, there's your Netflix money for the month. Come on.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult here.
I think Netflix is helping a lot of enablers. You know, those enabling parents who gave the password to their, adult children in their 30s and 40s.
Mm-hmm.
And Netflix is saying, come on, you mooch.
Yeah. Well, it's the same
Pay
thing.
up.
It's the same thing with people that have cut the cord with cable and have gone to YouTube TV. A couple of my buddies in my fantasy football league are like, yeah, why don't we split the bill and we'll each share the account and the passwords? And I'm like, dude, is the struggle that bad? Like, I mean, geez, come on, man.
Well, we are sponsored by Hint Water, delicious fruit-infused water, zero sugar or diet sweeteners. Hint is water with a touch of true fruit flavor, available in stores across America or delivered to you at hintwater.com. Big 3.
By the way, in the YouTube chat here, Sid and a bunch of other people want to know if you can smoke weed on the beach, because recreational weed is legal in New Jersey.
Oh, probably. Probably.
So what's the...
Can I get a recreational bourbon license?
It's ridiculous, though.
It's unbelievable.
I would actually argue that smoking weed on the beach affects other people because you can smell it.
Yeah, exactly. But, people will say, well, marijuana's got more benefits and alcohol serves no benefits. So.
Well, in general, Wildwood Crest has banned any smoking of any smoking.
So
Cannabis.
You can't smoke a cigarette on the beach anymore?
No, not Wildwood Crest.
Okay.
To my knowledge.
Can't burn a heater while you're burning in the sun.
But to Greg's point, I mean, you could just have a little brownie.
Yeah.
Recreational little brownie
on the beach. That's why they've made edibles, right?
Yeah.
Nobody can smell it but you.
See?
I will continue to drink on the beach. Come get me.
Look at a stalker.
Don't say that. We'll have Greg in his man Speedo. And he'll be saying, Nick!
So the cops come after Greg, and Greg finally realizes that, you know what, I should take this serious, and he's running down the beach with his Speedo with little Dylan chasing him.
Holy crap! I don't go to Wildwood anyway, so
okay.
I go to a much more elitist beach.
Look at you. Shilling at the shore with the stalkers. All right, that's it?
Yep.
All right, that'll do it. 9:25, let's get to our morning mystery movie clip.
And now, the morning mystery movie clip on Kayal Company. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
He's here. Who? The Batman. What anyone does when a prowler comes around.
Really? Why do we
call the police? At this point, they can't stop
What is
us.
Superman?
But the Batman has a talent for disruption.
We're really
going outside. Police will take him down. Looking for a concentrated dose.
I think I'm Spider-Man.
Take some.
The things they say about him. Can he really fly? I heard he can disappear.
Well, we'll find out.
Think you know what it is? Be call at 12 at 855-839-1210, and you could win this great prize.
Well, before we get to the great prize, we got to talk about the great clip we just played for you. Yes, it's obviously a Batman movie, but I guess the only question is, which Batman was it?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Boy.
I get you.
Talk about mailing it in. 855-839-1210. The boys in the back have already started Memorial Day weekend, apparently. Caller 12 at 855-839-1210 with the correct answer to which Batman movie clip we just played for you. We'll get a pair of tickets to see Paul Anka at the Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City on Friday, November 10th. We'll see if you can show us your Batman knowledge when we continue. Kayal Company.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171.
Finding great people to hire is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's pretty difficult, right? Well, ZipRecruiter has mastered finding a needle in a haystack, so they take it to the next level. They make hiring so simple that it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. And that's why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Here's what it's like to use ZipRecruiter. They have so many qualified candidates that it's easier to find the right ones for your roles. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's a lot of needles. So how do they do it? ZipRecruiter's powerful technology sends you candidates who are a great match for your job, and you can even invite your top choices to apply. So if you want less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Virtua Health is here for you, all of you. Here for the run-of-the-mills, the out-of-the-blues. Here for everything in between. And with our Rowan University partnership, we're here, rethinking the way academic medicine feels. Welcome to a more convenient, smarter healthcare experience. And that's more good for everyone. Find a Virtua physician or location near you at virtua.org. Virtua Health, now more than ever, here for good.
Kick off summer with a beautiful new kitchen designed just for you. Right now, Colonial Marble and Granite is offering 20% off all kitchen countertops, marble, granite, or quartz. And your choice of a free 10-year sealer or free edge upgrade. Plus, 65% off all exotic stones. Let the sun shine in and start planning your dream kitchen today. Stop by a Colonial Marble and Granite area showroom to see their amazing selection of products, or make an appointment for a free in-home design consultation. Visit colonialmarble.net today for details.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's Borgata's 20th anniversary. Come celebrate with over 20 wheels during the Road to Riches giveaway. This May and June, 1,200 players will win a share of $1.2 million in prizes, including 4 luxury golf carts and 2 Lexus SUVs. Earn entries for drawings held every Saturday and 2 grand prize drawings on May 27th and June 24th. The Road to Riches giveaway, only at Borgata. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get a home run of a deal from Dino and his team at Winter Ford. With a great selection on the 2023 Ford F-150s, Explorers, and Bronco Sports. You can now lease them for $329 a month. Plus, you can also order a 2023 model of your choice and receive $1,000 open bonus cash on any order. Call 800-428-4000 for offer details. Visit in person or online at winterford.com. Winter Ford, people you trust, service and value you'll love.
Finding great people to hire is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's pretty difficult, right? Well, ZipRecruiter has mastered finding a needle in a haystack, so they take it to the next level. They make hiring so simple that it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. And that's why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Here's what it's like to use ZipRecruiter. They have so many qualified candidates that it's easier to find the right ones for your roles. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's a lot of needles. So how do they do it? ZipRecruiter's powerful technology sends you candidates who are a great match for your job, and you can even invite your top choices to apply. So if you want less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, Costco members have a $2,500 incentive on the purchase or lease of an electric Volvo. There is a $1,000 incentive on all gas and hybrid 2023 models. Explore this safe and versatile 2023 XC90 and take advantage of special financing, a rate of under 5%. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo for a full list of extraordinary offers for both new and previously owned Cherry Hill Volvos. Visit us now. We have the inventory and we have competitive offers.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Protect your family, your phone, and your furry friends with Life, electronic device, and pet health insurance.
From Broomall to Brookhaven, follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app.
Download it now.
$9:33 Thursday morning. This segment of Kayal Company brought to you by the Philadelphia 100. Calling all entrepreneurs, distinguish your company as one of the fastest growing in the region by applying for the 2023 Philadelphia 100 Award. Take the first step in joining this elite group of businesses. Apply today at philly100.org. 855-839-1210. Got an interesting story on dogs that we'll get to here in just a moment to wrap up a Thursday. Before we get to the cut sheet, what's on tap and what's lined up for Dawn's show and who on Twitter today. But right now, we've got Jack in Audubon, New Jersey. Jack, what was the movie clip we played for you a couple of minutes ago, sir?
Was it Batman Begins?
Yeah, it's correct, sir. Nice work. The first of the 3 Christian Bale Batman movies, and you've got yourself the Paul Anka tickets, so we appreciate it. Thank you so much, Jack.
Awesome. Love you guys. I listen every day. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you very much, Jack. Good stuff out of Jack. And yes, 2005, Batman Begins with Christian Bale, first one. 2008, the second one, The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger as the Joker. And 2012, the third of the trilogy with, I forget his name, but he was Bane in the movie, and he was the villain in that one. By the way, of all 3 of those, the one we just played for you, Batman Begins, yeah. I mean, it's hard to top the one with Heath Ledger as the Joker.
That is the greatest Batman movie of all time. It's one of the great. To be honest with you, it's one of the greatest movies of all time, not just Batman movies.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger's performance was A+. The movie was great. Even my wife, who absolutely hates superhero movies, loved that movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's probably one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah, see, I'm a Batman fan, but I'm not a superhero fan.
Prove me wrong.
Yeah, prove me wrong. At Greg Stalker on Twitter if you want to fight in these Twitter streets. 855-839-1210. All right, so let's have just a lighthearted story here to wrap up this Thursday. And I've come to the conclusion that my dog is worthless. He's a mooch.
Oh, that's not right. Come on.
After this story, you're going to think all of our dogs are mooches. Even an old buddy boy over there.
No.
Golden Retriever makes $1 million a year as an influencer.
What?
Yes. I mean, even Dylan Mulvaney is jealous right now. So imagine your dog making more money than you do. Well, a 5-year-old Golden Retriever has been raking in 6 figures a year since he was 2 years old, and now makes $1 million per year. A YouTube paid post can be anywhere from $40,000 to $60,000 for a 30-minute pre-roll. Tucker's owner, I guess the dog's name is Tucker, his owner, Courtney Budson, said, Instagram-wise, we make about $20,000 for anywhere from 3 to 8 stories. Courtney started Tucker the dog's Instagram page in June of 2018 on the day she got him. Shortly after, a video that she posted went viral, and they never looked back. The Budsons post near daily Tucker content, earning an estimated $6,656 to just under $11,100 per TikTok post. I've come to the realization, Greg, I'm giving you my 2-week notice.
No.
I'm going to go get a dog.
Okay.
And we're going to post social media videos every day. It is more profitable for my dog to be on social media. Now, I don't know if the dog can scroll or swipe with the paw, but you might have to do a little work as the human being here. But what do we think about this? Is this dog exploitation?
No, if you can find a way to make money from your dog. Dogs love a purpose. You know what I mean? Like, that's the purpose. They feel like they're contributing. They love it.
Dawn, you got to get a Buddy Boy Twitter account.
Oh, yeah.
You start having him post a video each day.
He would instantly be number one.
Well,
Top dog.
it would make more sense than most of the trans videos on TikTok. That we can guarantee. Yeah. So, yeah, nice work out of this lady.
Cool.
I mean, I would never work again if my dog can make this kind of scratch. This is no longer a side hustle. This is the hustle. Yeah, dog influencers.
By the way, can I just say, so on YouTube, by the way, streaming live on YouTube, youtube.com/@1210WPHT, Patrick Nolan writes on our YouTube chat, I'm 33, never drank alcohol in my life. I don't see a problem with people drinking on the beach. We were discussing that. If you're just tuning in, we were discussing that in the last segment because Wildwood is outlawing drinking of any kind on the beach. I'm not taking issue for what he said. I'm just not taking issue, but I'm just curious. 33 and never having a drink in his life.
I know.
Wow.
So
good for you.
Who knew that Tim Scott was on our YouTube channel? Oh no, that's abstinence.
That's good, man. We all probably started too young, and it's just like it's become a way of life now.
How old were you when your first sip of a drink? Not if your old man gave you a sip of his PBR.
I was just gonna say, like, I feel like my dad might have given me a sip of his Budweiser when I was younger.
My mom at 16 bought me a case of a 6-pack on New Year's Eve of the non-alcoholic beer that's in the grocery stores before they can start selling alcohol.
Yep.
I forget what is it. It's O'Doul's.
Oh sure.
Yeah, I think whatever non-alcoholic beer was, and I tasted it. I'm like, man, this sucks. I wanted to do this, and I'm like, man, it's awful.
There's still some alcohol in that, by the way.
Is
they
there,
say
really?
they say it's non-alcoholic, but I think there's still like a trace of alcohol in it.
All right. My mom's going to be arrested for this.
I was probably, I don't know, maybe 15 or 16. I feel like is when I first, and I didn't love it. Actually, I didn't like it at all. I drank it. I'm just like, ooh, it's terrible. But I like the way it made me feel, so I kept going.
The first time I did was I think it was either 18 or 19. It was like freshman year of college.
Wow, you started late.
And you know what it was? What I had? Smirnoff Ice.
Ugh.
Oh my God.
Ew.
Thinking back on it, and at the time, it's like, oh man, these are great. They're sugary. They're sweet. They're kind of sour. Like you couldn't. Well, I shouldn't say that. If you want to pay me, I'll promote Smirnoff. I'll promote anything you want. But nowadays, as a bourbon connoisseur, I don't know how anybody drinks those Zimas and all those.
Are Zimas still a thing?
Remember the commercial? Zima, something different.
Dawn, would you like to confess?
Oh no, we were at a neighbor's when I was a teenager, and they were serving champagne. And so they said, "Can your kids have?" And they were like, "Sure." So they poured us like a little tiny, like a half glass of champagne. It was, I'm sure it was the good stuff, and it was delicious.
Did you get the giggles then?
No.
It
was just good.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that was yummy.
Yeah, like a little champagne.
A little champagne.
Yeah.
People in Europe think about. I think it's important.
It's true. It's a very good point.
Right?
You're about to say. Yep.
To just take the, ooh, I'm a rebel. I had a beer behind the shack or whatever. I mean, people in Europe do that all the time, where they let their kid have a little glass of wine, a little sip of it, so that you kind of take away from the fact that they're like, ooh, we're so cool and we're so rebellious because we had a beer.
They seem to get it right in Europe more than we get it right here, right?
Well, maybe
sometimes.
Some things.
Alcohol, COVID.
What was Europe?
No, nobody got.
I was just going to say, I don't think Europe was.
You know who got COVID right? The Amish.
Yeah.
You got to eat that shoe fly pie. All right, 9:41. Let's get to what's on the cut sheet part 2.
What's on the cut sheet?
Part 2. Yes, Nick Hale, what's on the cut sheet part 2 is sponsored by United Tire. Drive into savings this Memorial Day at United Tire and save $150 on a set of 4 tires on brands like Michelin, BF Goodrich, and Continental. It's not Continental. It's Continental.
No, it's Continental. It's a typo. I had that last week.
God.
It's a typo. They're Continental tires.
Hold on a second.
Spanking machine. It's not any of our fault.
You don't want to miss the sale. Visit your local United Tire. Just visit your local United Tire. I've done it. They're a good place. They helped me out with my tire when I needed it. Don't drive alone, drive United. United Tire. There's one in Willow Grove. They're awesome. Thank you, United Tire, for sponsoring What's on the Cut Sheet Part 2. Last night, I got to give this to CBS Evening News, Nora O'Donnell. They reported last night about this IRS whistleblower that says that the DOJ intervened to slow walk the Hunter Biden probe to benefit him. Now, something that if you are a listener to this program and other programs on this radio station, I'm sure you already knew. But it's nice to see that the CBS Evening News getting in on the action here. So this was their report from last night. Nora O'Donnell.
We turn now to a CBS News exclusive. For more than 3 years, the Department of Justice has been investigating the president's son, Hunter Biden, for possible tax crimes. Last fall, FBI sources told us they had sufficient evidence to bring charges. CBS's Jim Axelrod spoke to the IRS agent who is blowing the whistle on what he says was preferential treatment in his first public interview.
When I took control of this particular investigation, I immediately saw it, was way outside the norm of what I've experienced in the past.
Gary Shapley is a supervisory special agent for the IRS, where he's worked for 14 years. In January 2020, he was assigned to what he calls a high-profile investigation.
Who's the subject of the investigation?
I can't confirm or deny the subject of this investigation.
Why not?
Because part of the tax secrecy laws don't allow it.
Shapley can't say it, but CBS News has learned the investigation was the probe of Hunter Biden by the Trump-appointed U.S. attorney in Delaware. Senior Biden administration officials have vowed to let it run its course without interference.
It's not restricted in his investigation in any way.
But CBS News has obtained this letter Shapley's lawyers sent to Congress Monday, alleging irregularities in DOJ's handling of the investigation. Shapley is seeking legal protections from Congress so he can share specifics of his allegations.
There was multiple steps that were slow walked at the direction of the Department of Justice.
Wow. Had you ever encountered that before?
I have not, no. These deviations from normal process, and each and every time it seemed to always benefit the subject.
Shapley says he decided to blow the whistle after a heated meeting last October with federal prosecutors.
It was my red line meeting. It just got to that point where that switch was turned on, and I just couldn't silence my conscience anymore.
Did you let prosecutors know you were unhappy?
I don't think I can answer that.
Hunter Biden has denied any wrongdoing.
Like civil servants.
The IRS agent told us he is a registered Republican. His whistleblowing is being assisted by an advocacy group with past ties to the GOP. But Shapley says this is not about politics.
Why do you want to navigate these waters?
I don't want to do any of this. I took an oath of office, and when I saw the egregiousness of some of these things, it no longer became a choice for me. It's not something that I want to do. It's something that I feel like I have to do.
Well, good for him for doing the job he's actually paid to do. Although, obviously, you say, well, why does it take 3 years to go through somebody's taxes? Well, when you see all these irregularities that he's talking about and all the steps that are taken to protect the subject, you understand why. Although, I love how he didn't even ask him there if it was about Hunter Biden. His immediate answer was just, I can't confirm nor can I deny. I'm like, I didn't ask you a question. I didn't say, is this about Hunter Biden? And you said, I can't confirm nor deny.
That's true.
He just had the stock answer like already, on the tip of his tongue.
Because he doesn't want to be jailed.
Of course not.
And persecuted further.
Sure.
It's interesting. Last few weeks, all this stuff coming out about the Department of Justice and the FBI. It's very interesting to see, and I'm glad. I'm glad we're getting to the bottom of it because that's that's what we need to do.
I think it's not the bottom. I think this is the tip of the iceberg.
Tip of the iceberg, baby.
Yeah.
All right, 9:47. We will come back and wrap it up. We're going to find out what's on tap for the Dawn Show, just 13 minutes out, and who won Twitter today. Might be tough. Been a very active day on the socials. And we're back after this.
Businesses to watch. Armin Chevrolet is the only name you need to remember when you're looking for a quality GM certified pre-owned vehicle. Every Armin GM certified pre-owned vehicle goes through a 172-point inspection. And every Armin certified Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC vehicle comes with the assurance of at least 12 months or 12,000 miles of limited bumper-to-bumper warranty, in addition to the balance of the 5-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. When you're thinking of quality GM certified pre-owned, think Armin Chevrolet. Visit ArminChevy.com. Find new roads to Armin Chevrolet.
Attention real estate investors, PK Capital Funding, in business for over 30 years, provides creative funding for fix and flips up to 100%, 1 to 4 family properties, foreign national construction, and more. Call today, 267-266-0797.
Attention business owners. PK Capital Funding provides business loans even with a 500 credit score for manufacturing, doctor's offices, restaurants, auto repair, builders, and more. Call today, 267-266-0797, 267-266-0797.
Win and save this baseball season from Colony Pools and Power Washing, a local company serving Delaware, Delco, and Chester County since 1970. Are you tired of looking at your green house? Is your roof, siding, deck stained green from algae and mold? Let the experts pressure wash your home and take the pressure off of you. Win with Colony Pools and Power Washing. Call them now at 302-762-2250. That's 302-762-2250.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me, 40 days up to 40 pounds. Visit njdiet.com or call 855-5NJ-DIET. That's 855-5NJ-DIET. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
Jesse Waters Primetime. Weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox News Channel.
This is going to be fun to watch.
Jesse is tackling the nation's top headlines, delivering critical insight.
The White House track record here isn't great. This is bigger than politics.
And never backing down on the issues that matter most.
The name of the game is always the same. Win big.
Don't miss Jesse Waters Primetime. Weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern. Only on Fox News Channel. America is watching.
For breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Hatfield Pork brings flavor to the table the whole family will enjoy and keep you moving through the day. With over 24 distinct flavors that can be ready in minutes, it's food you can feel good about serving. Explore endless meal possibilities with Hatfield's variety of marinated pork.
Local fans can listen live all summer long, whether you're at the grill or at the pool.
The ball bobbled. The Phillies win. Bryson Stott has won it.
Phillies baseball. Phillies announcers. Streaming live on the free Odyssey app. AUDACY. Get in the game and download it today.
It was the day we all feared. The stock market went down and then kept going.
2008, when the markets lost over 50% of their value. But that was over a decade ago. Today, it's not so painful. Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group calls that financial amnesia. When you forget the pain of losing half your savings, and more importantly, ignore the fact that it can happen again. A complimentary consultation from Retire Ready Financial Group can show you where you stand now before the next market pullback. You're much closer to retirement than you were in 2008. Don't let it happen again. Call Jim Cipriotti at 610-894-7415 for a complimentary consultation. That's 610-894-7415 or online at retirereadyfg.com. You can forget where you put your keys, your glasses, or even your car. Don't forget to protect your retirement.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, NPN number 2083768.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
In the market for a job? Level up. Unlock your full potential with Skill Up PA. Free online trainings and certifications will give your resume a boost and set you up for career success. Visit pacareerlink.pa.gov and look for the green banner. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain with this free, self-paced online training platform. Level up with Skill Up PA. Get started today at pacareerlink.pa.gov.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
This is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Free speech lives here.
Rolling down Highway 95. Oh yeah, baby. Kayal Company, 9:52 here on this Thursday morning. We're just about 8 minutes out from the Dawn Show, and we find out right now what is on tap at 10 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, you'll hear from a mom who's very upset at the fact that her biologically born daughter has been bumped from the qualifiers for championships. We're in track season, and so this impacts all of us across the country as we look at what's going on. So you'll hear, and it's from so many parents, but this mom how she's upset and about the intimidation that's going on, the bullying that's going on. It's not fair. And then as well, Riley Gaines speaking out again about this case in particular, as well as what's going on in our area right now. As I speak, the laws matter, the elections matter. We'll pull that all together. Then coming up right at 10:10, we will hear from Chris Tompkins, who's of the Nat Geo documentary Wildlife. But this really welcomes in that whole Patagonia controversy that we talked about, because they are, sponsoring a lot of this stuff. So the chilling effect of all that mishegas, how does that affect Nat Geo? So all of that's coming on. And the latest with what we're expecting to hear as far as Philadelphia public schools. Will they go year round? What does that mean? So much to talk about.
A lot of juicy stuff. Yeah. Now, so the female was bumped for a biological male?
Yep. Huh. So it's when you have the qualifiers, I'm dealing with that. In fact, I'll send you my vacation stuff, Greg Stocker is waiting for this, because we all live and breathe this stuff. Your whole life revolves around this when your kids are in track or whatever sport, right? But summer sports, it goes to the Junior Olympics. So if you qualify this, you qualify for that. All the qualifiers are critical. And so when you throw in the mix somebody who's a biological male competing against biological girls, it's devastating.
Yeah.
So if, let's say, you have to make the top 3 for the qualifier, and that's what happened here. The biological male came in, I think, 2nd or 3rd, and that means the girl who came in 4th, she can't move forward in the state championships. And what does that mean? That means moving forward to college, that you don't get the scholarships.
Yep.
It's devastating.
It really pisses me off.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Greg Stocker, who won Twitter today?
Who won Twitter?
Who won Twitter today, sponsored by LifeVac. I'm going to give it to Joe Andre at Eagles Jojo 612. He says, this is how they print money on holiday weekends with DUIs. Wildwood perfectly timed this. No one is going to know this law, and they're going to bust people all weekend. Yeah. It's a print fest of fines. Speaking of fining people for drinking on the beach in Wildwood. Who on Twitter today? Sponsored by LifeVac. Every 5 days, a child dies of choking, and more than 5,000 people die every year. LifeVac is the easiest, safest, and most effective way to make sure this never happens to your loved ones. Go to lifevac.net and use code NEWS at checkout to save 20%.
They should also do an endorsement deal with all of our Philadelphia sports teams.
Oh, come on.
Official choking provider of the Eagles, Sixers, Flyers, and Phillies.
Lifevac.net.
All right. That'll do it for us on a Thursday. Have a great rest of your day. Stay tuned. The Dawn Show is coming up next, and we'll talk again tomorrow at 6.
I'll see you tomorrow. Come talk to me.